Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I'll talk on the spaces.
I'm not hearing you on the stream. Are you on the stream?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Um,
It might be on your end because I can't hear you either. Yeah, I know that one. Can you hear me?
yeah, yes, now I can. We rolling? What's going on? The Vivor is not coming up.
Hola, señor. ¿Está bien?
Sí, sí, muy bien, siempre. Feliz lunes. Happy Monday, bro. Can you hear me? Does everybody else hear me?
Uh-oh. I think I got it now.
Give Bishop his props. He's always the one coordinating this. I just show up. Cool. All right, give us a couple minutes. We're what we're doing is we've been doing this a couple weeks now, but Bishop is getting it going on X Live, so X Video, YouTube Live, and Vivor. Vivor is important. That's they use the money layer of Kaspa. I see him in the background. Hold on here.
This happened the other day.
We can hear you though on the spaces. All right, give us a couple minutes, guys. We'll get it going here soon. Good to see everybody after Super Bowl Sunday.
Holy shit. I did it. It works now.
Sweet.
Share screen. Add the X. There we are. Turn off Juan's mic on the stream. And bang.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. 10 minutes in.
All right.
16 of live on the Kaspa Standard.
Yes, sir. Time is nothing but an illusion anyways.
Yeah,
Get this rolling.
I'm cool.
Day after Super Bowl Sunday, brother.
Yeah, man. Did you watch?
I did. Yeah, I did. I had not turned on a TV. We're in February and probably about a month, man. I haven't really watched anything. Not true. Well, no, I've watched it from like my iPad, Netflix. The show on from that was intriguing to me called 11, I believe 11/22, the day that Kennedy was assassinated.
Yeah, I've seen advertisements for that.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I felt like it was the first time in a while. It was not appointment viewing, but intriguing enough to watch a game that wasn't of my team. I was like, you know what? This is a Super Bowl that's happening. Yes, these teams have played each other before, but no one was there from before except for Josh McDaniels. It should be a fun watch. That's what I looked at it as, you know. And it was a solid game. I mean, if you like all aspects of football, it was a really good game. Very good special teams, very good defense, and yeah, it wasn't that high scoring until the fourth quarter. The ball really got moving, and yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
It was a defensive game. I enjoyed the halftime show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That I know was controversial for a lot of Americans.
Shouts to Damien, $5 or $5 tip on Vivor.
Appreciate it, Damien.
Yeah, I mean, look, the halftime show is only controversial if you don't think. I mean, I'm not going to try to say anything too political, but you know this more than anyone. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory.
It is 100%. My dad reminds me of that all the time.
Yeah, and I'm sure if he's as passionate as Puerto Rico as the Puerto Ricans I've met, he will tell you in depth about the injustices that have been put on the island from the United States government to force them to stay sovereign in citizenship while they have to adhere to some of the worst trade laws that exist in really trade history, not just U.S. history. And they're kind of just stuck having to be a sovereign island, because if they become the 51st state, it gets even worse for them. But this is all stuff that people don't want to do research on, and they just want to say, hey, why is this guy speaking Spanish in at an American football game? It's like, well, because he's an American citizen, and the place he lives is kind of forced to be sovereign, so they keep their culture. And yeah, so it racism bothers me, but idiotic racism really bothers me.
Well, there's a ton of that. I wasn't born here, but my son's first generation. But I came here when I was 1, and I spoke English in my household to my father and my friends and my brothers, Spanish to my mother, and I'm fluent in both. And no, I can tell you, my father served 20 years in the military. He is an American through and through. He is not as in depth as what you just broke down. He probably isn't as aware of all that stuff, but he served his country, man. Retired military, and he's a proud man. Did his best, but yeah, no, it was just cool to see. It was cool to see that, because I grew up in an era where there wasn't a lot of people that looked like me. When he retired, we moved to Venice, Northport area in Florida. There just wasn't a lot of us. So I got a lot of that, but I held my own. I was the oldest of 3, and I punched people. I remember the first time in PE, like we were playing basketball. I stole the ball from some kid. He literally called me the N word. I was like, "What did you say?" And I took the basketball, threw it at his face, and I swung and swung, and then they had to pull me off of him. And then we became. His name was Jordan. Jordan and I became really good friends after that. But nobody tried me. So yeah, man. There's unfortunately, it's. I wish people could go back to that, just handling it face to face, because you realize how freaking dumb it is. And to me, we're all people, right? People are people. I don't give a shit where you're from. Cool, tell me about it. Um, it doesn't have me. I definitely don't judge people from where they're from. I judge people by the content of their character, you know. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I was just reflecting as you're talking. It got me like super fucking emotional. Um, I don't ever remember being a kid and caring what someone looked like. Yes, there's some learned things, and you might make a mistake and say a thing, and growing up in the '90s like we did, and you got a couple years on me, so it's a little bit um, harsher then. But I've said it on the Tower Wrestling Take show, and I'll say it here too. I've said every racial epithet ever. I've said every homophobic slur of all time, and that was a product of the environment then,
yeah,
right? And through growth and understanding and meeting people as an adult, I learned that even though I said those having fun as a kid, right? Like and fun together, right? My Spanish friends and what we would call each other, and my black friends and what we would call each other, and um, the gay stuff was definitely different. Um, but knowing that like what was friendship is also just not okay now. It's okay for me to say it's not okay, right? And
yeah,
and I'm not denying who I was as a child, and that little Matt like loved those kids and said those things because he loved those kids and those kids loved him. And to teach my son now, who is growing up with a very similar ethnic diversity in his schools, what is and what isn't okay, and how daddy used to be and how things are now, when it just comes to words, because there's nothing wrong with the way he acts and appreciates people. And then he'll look on TV and see how people act and don't appreciate people. And it's fucking sad, man. Like it really does fucking bother me. Like I I'm not educated enough to grandstand on Twitter or even on this show about socio-political issues. But I do know simplicity. And for fuck them, like for Turning Point USA to think that just because Bad Bunny does music in Spanish is a reason to put on an English alternative
Is that what they did?
Yes, the Charlie Kirk shit has. They put kids.
Bro, this is why I don't get program. There's no TV that goes on in my house. Like I'm not aware of any of this, by the way. I don't live in that bubble. I really don't. I live on the Kaspa standard, which is a sovereign standard. The TV doesn't go on in my house. Like my son plays on his iPad. And I'm sorry, I'm not to cut you off, but you shouldn't feel bad. We're a product of our environment, and the beautiful thing is we have an option to not. It's hard not to turn on the TV and fucking look at all that shit. But as soon as something doesn't vibe with me, bro, it just doesn't exist. It just doesn't get into my energy field. Like I've done too much work to get here, where it's just like I see people for people, bro. Like listen, the shit that they show on TV, I'm not saying it's not happening, but it's amplified because I don't expect. I live in Miami, bro. You know, like we're you see blue-eyed, blonde hair Latina women speaking fluent Spanish that don't understand English. Walk into grocery store. Here's the Winn-Dixie. You walk in there, you say hola to one person, you say hello to the other. So Spanish and English are spoken here where I'm at, and I look at people in the face and see them as people, and just so much shit is amplified on fucking TV. It's really not like that when you're just living from real experience, bro. And then I think about, bro, like you and I go back and forth on these voice notes and talk about all the beautiful things, even some of the shit, the discourse happening within Caspa with the messaging and all that. And it's just like, it's not that fucking serious. That's why we have way too many channels on TV, dude. Remember what it was like when we were growing up? It was like a couple of channels and get outside and go fucking play. I've tried to recreate that for my son as best as I can. He's not on the TV. He is on his iPad a little too much. But even the school that I have him in, bro, like we got grants for that too because he's on the spectrum and we get help with that. So, dude, that's insane.
Yeah, and
English alternative, like as if no, you need to enjoy that shit in like the culture that it was. I love listening to music that I don't necessarily understand the words because I taught myself how to play guitar. I started playing when I was like 20. This was like 16, 17 years ago. And that opened up a whole new connection to myself and others.
Sure.
Being able to, I was like, oh shit, I need, didn't realize I could pick that up. So I can't read music, but I can read tabs and I can sit there and jam, so decently. Like I'm not an expert or anything, but
no,
but that's insane.
Yeah, I'm a food guy. I came up in the kitchen and I went to all that stuff. Music and food, you don't get to pick those. They speak to you.
Right.
And when you deny the ability to allow it to speak to you, that's a you problem. And look, my wife and I have this conversation a lot because I grew up in an Italian American household and our culture was around a table. But I've been to Spanish parties, right? And you see that kind of culture. I went to school with Spanish kids. I told her the story yesterday. Like there was this brother sister. The one was in 8th grade, one was in 6th or 7th grade, and every dance when the Spanish music would come on, the two of them would get in the middle of the dance floor and tear it the fuck up. Not because brothers and sisters in Spanish families are gross. No, because this is a cultural thing that they've learned since they were like 2 years old. And there's that. And Americans, specifically white Americans, our culture doesn't come over from Europe. It doesn't look the same as our native land. Like Chinese American, like you look all over the world and how they celebrate their cultures. America doesn't have that culture because we have all the cultures. So when it's time to experience that other culture, sit down and fucking experience it. Like, and love that truth, right? And in New York, there's the Puerto Rican Day Parade, the Irish American Parade, Italian American, like these. In my state, there's a Polish festival, the Italian festival, there's Greek Fest, there's Oktoberfest. Like you go and you experience these things, and a lot of people go for what's given to them, not what they can receive. And it really bothers me, again, that idiotic racism that exists, or really it's xenophobia, but everything's labeled racism nowadays, but the idea that these things that are different than you are less than, or aren't, or don't exist, or aren't a part of your America. There is no your America. It's our fucking America, man. Everyone is here doing their shit because that's what this place was made for after we took it from some people. Like I used to be, I'll tell you what, I used to be ignorant as shit. We can get off this in a second. But I used to be ignorant as shit. 18, 19 years old, speak English. What are you talking? Just speak English, right?
You're one of those. I used to get that too.
Yeah. Just speak.
I would have been your friend though, but we absolutely would have fought a couple times, and then we would have been buddies.
For sure.
Like,
I used to do this, right? Like I would be next to a Mexican and next to a Puerto Rican, and they both be speaking Spanish, right? And well, no, we're different. I'm like, well, if you're different than him, then what language are you speaking? Okay, so, and I would do shit like that, right? And it's because I didn't dive deep into one-on-one conversations, and it was all just, well, you're all Spanish anyway, right? And growing up in New York, there was Dominicans and Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Guatemala. So like there was a term like, oh, well, the Spanish people, right? And it wasn't to label them all Spanish, but it's because at the time you don't know what their Spanish is, right? Oh, no, like, yeah, I got a couple Spanish kids in my class. Well, where are they from? It's not because they're from Spain, but it's because I don't know where they're from yet. You know what I mean? And then once I figure them out, or once I talk to them, have conversations, become friends with them, that's like, okay, these guys are Mexican. They do, rice and beans. These guys are Puerto Rican. They do patillos and fucking mofongo. Yeah. Like,
mofongo's Dominican, yeah.
Well, there's Puerto Rican versions.
Yeah, there is, but mofongo's known. Yeah.
But these cultures exist if you take the time, and it's fucking hysterical to me.
Yeah, I look back and laugh at all of it, bro. Listen,
Americans have a problem with people speaking Spanish.
I know it gets people
English. It's not American.
Well, I know
English.
These topics get people all like sensitive and shit, but like I laugh at it, and there's no, I don't hold anything against anybody, because we all, I mean, America is turning 250 years old this year. There's a long standing history of, none of us are from here. We're all from somewhere else, and we're not that connected to, generations and generations like in other parts of the world. So we're all just trying to figure it out, man. And I think as we become adults, humans are humans. And I like to connect with people with where they're at right now, and not hold any of that bullshit. Because like I said, bro, you turn off the TV and start, what you put into your brain is what you're going to get out of it. TV doesn't really go on that much for me. And like, I'm out here trying to live my life, have these conversations on Spaces now, and, connect with all of you. I see Gonzo in here, Seb, I've had conversations with him, 16-bit. Some of the other people I haven't necessarily met. Oh, I see. Is that Crypto Pumps? It is. Good to see you, bro. Awesome job you're doing on the show on Tuesday nights, man.
Tuesdays, yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's just like, you guys are my people, so it's like I like evolving into like, I've always got filled up my life with energy of curiosity, and that's allowed me to really appreciate people that help me learn. And then I'm just going to give you my life experience, bro. And it's like, I'm mixed. I've shared before. I don't know who my biological father is, so I have fun with it, bro. I can romanticize like the Bitcoiners romanticize about Satoshi, like, oh, Satoshi's an alien and shit like that. Like I did the same shit with my dad. Like my dad probably played in the NFL and is probably 6'6" and a big black guy, or maybe he was white. I don't know. I can do all that shit too and romanticize. It's fun.
No, for sure. And I only went down that path because you said the halftime was controversial, and that was the only reason why.
Well, yeah, I remember hearing that, but it was like when I saw the show, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I like, my style's all over the place, bro, because I like the Justin Timberlake one that there was a few, I don't know when that was, but Justin Timberlake tore it up. I was with my son and my ex-wife. We were there watching the Super Bowl, and she had just gotten back, and she was in Mexico for the weekend, and was house sitting for her, and she just walked in like right when it started, and you know she is a Panamanian through and through. Like got here in her early 20s, and her energy and her style is like, hey, and she knows all. I don't know all the Bad Bunny songs. That's the thing. I've been to a Bad Bunny concert, but as soon as he came on, and like she literally walked in the house, like, hey, I'm back. And then the party started in the house, bro. Like that's the energy that she brings to the table, and it just reminds me of what it's like, what it was like, because it wasn't like that when I was in the U.S. But when I went back to Panama, that was one of the things that I really connected with, being around family. Like, oh, music turns on and just the energy
Oh yeah,
changes.
for
I
sure.
was I was like this stiff, shy kid that didn't really, and I finally found that later that it wasn't like that growing up. I had to grow into that. So it was just funny watching that. She was like, "Oh, this was great," and yeah, it was a good show that he put on. The game to me was, it's all right. I felt the Seahawks were going to blow them out, and they did. They dominated like that. The score wasn't indicative of like how much they dominated,
Yeah.
but it played out the way it was supposed to. Man, love the story. Sam Darnold, all them teams bouncing around, winning a Super Bowl. Super cool story.
Yeah, drafted third overall to the Jets that, have been they've had a very difficult time as a
Oh
franchise
yeah,
get together. He gets shipped off to the Panthers for peanuts, ends up with the 49ers as a solid backup for Brock Purdy.
that's where he said it shifted for him.
Yeah,
Watching
well,
Brock prepare.
I'm glad it did because I mean Shanahan for his lack of individual success has always really boosted people around him, coaches included.
Well,
Um,
I gotta give a shout out too because my one of my really good friends is Brock Purdy's quarterback coach.
oh, nice,
His name's Will Hewlett. He's not. You guys don't. We don't know him yet, but he'll be coaching in the league soon. He was my backup in high school,
nice,
only because he didn't get eligible. He was a transfer from Australia, but he's one of my good buddies. Like I've known him since high school.
nice.
He's Brock Purdy, Caleb Williams, Cam Ward, handful of other guys like that have gotten drafted recently that he's had a lot of success with. But he's known like Caleb since he was a kid. He's known Brock since he was a teenager before he even got to Iowa State. So no, I'm gonna give credit to Will Hewlett. That's my guy's name. Not enough people know who he is. They will because the quarterbacks that he's training is just. And now seeing Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold said when he was around Brock and how he prepared and just his mindset and all that, that shifted a lot. And then went to Minnesota.
Crushed it in Minnesota.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, he was the perfect quarterback for that Kevin O'Connell offense. I really felt like because as a Packers fan, I saw it twice a year, and then they go 14-3 with his first year as a starter. And I'm like, wow, this guy really runs this offense so well. That was when we had our better defense as a Packers fan. Like we were causing turnovers and really some disruption, and they were just running a perfect offense. So I gave Darnold a lot of credit for that, and Minnesota definitely tailed off this year.
Benefited from it. Yeah, no, you could tell 100%. You could tell that was.
He goes to Seattle, and my God, absolutely lights it up. So yeah, I'm very happy for him because it's the first time ever a guy's played for 5 teams before he won the Super Bowl as a quarterback. But he was a number 3 overall pick who's supposed to have success in the NFL, and he finally did. So I'm happy for him for sure.
Yeah, dude, it's super cool to see stories like that, man. Because that's the thing in the NFL, these especially at the quarterback position, and obviously being a fan of the game and specifically that position, that's the position I dreamed to play. I shared that I started off as a center, was delusional. Even in high school, they're like, you should play linebacker or D tackle, and I was like, I'm a quarterback. I eventually worked my way to that position, and to play that position, you got to be on a level. It's at that level too, man, because there isn't much that separates these quarterbacks talent wise. Maybe arm strength here and there with a couple of top tier guys, but the game is so mental, and I love it because I compare football as not that I play because my son actually whoops me at chess right now. He's way better than me, but I compare it to chess. It's the chess of sports. There's so many moving components and parts of it. But that position, it just looks like he's just dropping back and throwing it or handing it off. But there's so many little decisions that happen within a split second within a couple seconds of walking up to the line, reading a defense. There's so much that's being processed. And when you learn about that and you see these guys execute at that level, it's super amazing. It's fun. It's great entertainment. And yeah, man, it's super cool to see a story like that. I love these stories because like
Yeah,
I can compare. I can relate. Compare. I can relate
for sure.
to you know. It's
Yeah, I
awesome.
mean, we talk about it too, right? Proof of work. And my high school basketball coach, great friends to this day, had a saying, "Hard work pays off." You know, which really just means don't stop, don't stop. You know, and Darnold not giving up on himself, knowing he was supposed to be there. Yeah, it's really really fucking cool. Um, yeah, did you do any Super Bowl party style events? Like, did you get pizza and wings? Did you
Oh, we
get
got pizza and wings. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We
yeah.
I got that for myself. We typically get that over the weekend, anyways. But yeah, we got pizza and wings. My son did not watch the Super Bowl though. He doesn't. They can't. That's not his thing. So I watched it by myself. Like I said, I was house sitting for his mom. She was gone for the weekend in Mexico. But yeah, man, it was in the building that they stay in. They had a huge Super Bowl party at the pool in the pool area where I did one of the shows. Right, like I did one
Yeah,
of the shows, and yeah. So there was a huge party there. I went down there for a little bit. It was a little out of control. So
awesome,
I can watch in the game. So I watched most of it from the house, but it was fun.
awesome. Yeah,
How about you? Yeah.
I put out cheese and crackers, and I made wings. So I fried my own wings, did them in beef fat, did them in tallow, and the fucking wing oil fucking popped up in my face.
Yeah, bro, you mentioned that. So you all
Yeah.
right? You got a
No,
scar from it,
I
or
had a hell of a day yesterday. Like, I literally woke up on the wrong side of the bed, just not feeling like it.
hey, that shit happens, bro. That
10,
happens from time to
10
time.
minutes after getting up, my wife goes, "So are we going to the store?" Because we had to go to the bulk food store to make dog food. We get 40-pound cases of chicken and 40-pound cases of sweet potatoes, and we cook it up and we make it all for the dog. Um, so we had to go to that store. So I was like, "Fuck, I can't say no because we need it and we have to do it." So I was like, "Yeah." So 10 minutes after waking up, and so we get going. We're driving down the highway, and I'm seeing white smoke out the back of the car, and I'm like, okay, it's cold. It's like 17 degrees yesterday, so it was just cold. And I'm like, all right, it's cold. I'm probably just burning a little bit of oil. I haven't started the car in a couple days. Then we get almost to the store, and my car it stalled. And then I turn it on, and I'm starting to hear a little bit of a tick. We make it to the store, leave the store, go to turn the car on, and a sign flashes up, basically saying, "Turn your fucking car off." So I turned it off, and we had to call my mother-in-law to bring us oil. We were able to get home, and then from uh, home to the mechanic shop, I saw the amount of oil that was leaking out underneath my car. I'm not a car guy, so I don't necessarily know what it is. I'm assuming I blew the head gasket, but not exciting. Not exciting.
No.
Yeah, and then about 3 hours later, after I was like, okay, I won. I'm okay now. Like, I'm on top for the day. We're in line. I'm making the wings, and the grease pops in my face, and I'm like, I just I just sat down and gave up the rest of the night. And then around 10 o'clock, like, I kind of felt okay again. So yeah, it was yesterday. Just wasn't my day. Just wasn't my day. But I feel good today. But I feel good today.
I call those character building days. Character building days. I learned that in my sales career when I would go like 0 for 6, 0 for 7 on appointments. Character building. So and not acting like it doesn't suck because it does suck when you go through some shit, bro. And then transitioning to like this thing called the 5 minute rule that I've gotten pretty good at, which is like anything that comes at you to act like it doesn't happen does not serve you. So acknowledge it happens, get it all out. We've talked about this how we are with our boys. Like you mentioned that your son, no, be real about what you feel about it. And that's super important. So be real about what you feel about it and how quickly can you process that, acknowledge it, not act like it didn't happen, and then move on to okay, to the next part of it, right? And in our lives when we're younger, it probably takes a lot longer.
Yeah.
I mentioned with watching football games. I was a 49ers fan growing up. They were always great. Then I transitioned to a Buccaneers fan, and we were horrible. But when I was a kid and the 49ers lost, it was hell at my house for a week until they won again. So, yeah, man. So the 5-minute rule, essentially, how quickly can you move to feeling it and then moving past it, right? So you gotta get through it so you can move through it and move past it. But you gotta feel that shit because bearing it doesn't happen.
No.
Or bearing it doesn't help you either because it'll fucking pop up in another way is what I've learned in my life from my experience. I can tell you that. Like when I don't face shit, when I do not face it, and I'm like, just forget about it. I'm not going to deal with it. Nah, it'll rear its fucking head and show itself in another way, and I just have to deal with it in another way. So it's like I better just fucking deal with this right now. Better just deal with this right now.
One of my first therapists called when you just push it down and you don't acknowledge it, they called it snakes in a can. Remember the thing from a kid, snakes in a can?
Oh yeah.
Shake it up. What is
That's a good analogy.
It just pops. So yeah, it's you're just pushing it down, and then at some point the lid's gonna come off, and everything you're pushing down is just gonna fucking come up. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense because I am hyper angry when I get angry because I don't process my anger. Right, that's what it was. I'm so much better at it now.
Yeah, you mentioned that you recently started. We talked about that in terms of like seeing the duality of things and how you need the bad to be able to feel the good at this level.
Yeah,
that's another thing too. What I noticed for myself, I can speak from experience. Like when I wasn't facing my shit, like even when things that really went well that I probably should get excited about, I wouldn't even get excited about it.
Yeah,
it's like I couldn't really feel the ups because I wasn't facing the downs. So when just the more and more you go towards whatever the fuck you got to go through, it might suck, but dude. On the other side of that, then you can really feel, hey, when it's up here, it's gonna be dope as shit. Just like right now with sentiment in the market with Kaspa, like we're not sitting here talking about price and shit like that. That's what a lot of people are. Look at I don't know if you ever followed that thing called the fear and greed index.
I've looked at it. Yeah, I don't put much credence into it, but I looked at it.
I like looking at it because, like I said, I like to put myself through the lens of like what most people are feeling.
Yeah,
but it's at a 9 right now, and it was like at a 5. It's never beautiful time to buy. You have the right mindset, right? But that just shows you where people are. Like their minds are in the gutter, and to me, it's like if it's this intense on the downside, just wait for the euphoria on the other side. And it's going to be exciting when that happens. Who knows when that's going to happen? I don't put a timeline on it. I'm not a chart reader. I don't look at any of that. I
same.
Take things for how they are and live my life. Talk about what is so, what can be, get excited about it. And then when it's here, like, fuck, let's party, bro.
Dude,
let's celebrate.
Speaking of, let's jump into how did you live on the Kaspa Standard, and I'll start with mine. Over the last week, how I lived on the Kaspa Standard, I actually saw something that was pretty cool. So shouts to Casmi, he's in the chat here. I received my second miner, and I did an unboxing on my channel at TBTix Podcast. I did an unboxing. It was fun. I tagged him in it, and he was actually in the chat right away, so I thought that was pretty cool. But to the price action part of it. So that energy exchange that we do with the $10 DCA, right? I was getting 345 CAS and then 315 CAS. And then just the other day, I got 265 CAS. And I was like, Kaspa's up. That's so cool. I wasn't thinking about how I got 100 less CAS than before.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I just got less CAS than I did before. That's awesome because now the value of CAS is materializing. Like that felt so good to actually get less for my fiat. I couldn't like equate it because I wasn't looking at it in debt-based terms. So I just had the excitement of receiving less CAS for my $10 because CAS is more valuable right now. I thought that was really fucking cool, man.
was just reminding me that I hadn't done my buy today, and I like to put it in, so I just did a $10, and I got 303
Nice.
cast. But isn't that pretty? Just the mental. What happens when you feel that and you see the change of the $10 in fiat, and then yeah, as the price fluctuates, it's like, oh shit, I could. Like I love that it's over 300 right now, but it was at some one point, because I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
At one point it was like 200, and it's super cool when the price is low, because I, um, I go, oh shit, okay, I'm getting way more cash for this. Yeah, man, that's an exercise right there that absolutely is a huge benefit when the price is down, man. That's why it's like, yeah, I don't. We know that the base layer of this and how Caspa is built, that at some point, because fiat has no bottom, Caspa has no top, bro. It's going to continue to reprice everything in the debt-based system.
Yeah.
Period. Right. And the benefit and the beautiful thing with what we have with Caspa is how it can be used today. And then obviously there's all this excitement about what's coming and what's being built on top of it. But what I am seeing a lot in the community is a lot of action. I am seeing a lot of that. There's a lot of the people that are here right now that are building, us with this show, having a platform where we're talking about real life shit. We're talking about the Super Bowl yesterday, and some of the things that relate in life, which is important to tie this all together. Um, and again, what is it? What does it mean living on the Caspa standard for us? I've said this several times, but just to reiterate it, to me, Caspa is a noun to an idea, right? It's not. I don't think it's ever going to be. I know some people out there go, "Oh, it's the end game," and there's a lot of properties that Caspa has that it could potentially be that. I'm not saying it can't be that. I just live from right here, right now. Right? That's where I go, and then I got my man Bishop. It's like, but what is it going to look like? Which I get excited about. I don't want that taken away from me either. I just know that for me and the way I operate, I can't get too far ahead of myself, because then I'll miss out on being like right here, and right here, right now. Just have somebody use Caspa, man, and that's it. That's why, I've talked plenty of times. I put videos up of onboarding people, and um, did I already share that I onboarded somebody here in the office space? Did I share that already? Yeah, like
You
I've
did
been.
the. I don't know if you said it on the show.
Yeah, I don't know if I said. Yeah, okay. So I was here late. Just in case, maybe I'm repeating myself, because this was like a week ago. So maybe I hadn't said it, but I'm here. I'm in here working late, like doing some things here late at night, and it's probably like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I notice there's somebody else in here. There typically isn't, and he's walked by a couple times. I'm like, what are you doing in here, man? And he's like, what are you doing in here? I'm like, I'm working, and just started up a conversation. His name's Johanan, and we got to talking. 45 minutes later, he has some Caspa. So it came up organically, just having a conversation with somebody. That's what happens, because it's really easy to put somebody on to Caspa. Man. The people that maybe struggle with it just have these stories and these barriers that stop them. But if you just meet somebody where they're at, ask them a couple of questions, they'll let you know how to onboard them. And onboarding them is literally just having them download a wallet and then sending them a Caspa, which is a couple cents, I don't know, 3-4 cents. Um, Speaking of that, bro, I actually tried. Do you know about the Casanova wallet?
I heard you talking about that on the Space with Silver.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you heard that?
So my son has Casanova. I have Castle. But after what you said on Silver Space, I think I'm thinking about Casanova, because I like that integration thing. So why don't you speak on that? Yeah, that was really cool to hear.
Yeah, I mean, what I typically onboard people to is Caspium, right? Now, Caspium's open source. I know that's super important to a lot of people in the community. I did ask the Casanova guys, like, why, because they're not, but he plans on it being that way. And also the thing that I do like about Caspium, even though it's simple, it kind of looks, old school in terms of the layout. I do like that when you send something, you can see it right away, in terms of it shows up in the Explorer right there. That's in the wallet. And then I do like that the Caspa, the amount of Kaspa is bigger than the dollar amount, right? Because speaking to when you put $10 in fiat and it turns into Kaspa, I want to train my brain to think in Kaspa for purchases, right? So I'm accumulating more Kaspa and I'm getting rid of the fiat. So it's not like the Casanova wallet. It's very sleek and modern. And the other thing too is that it uses the KNS domains. So like I put my son on one, and I got him a domain, like his nickname Juju. So juju.cas is my son. Uh, I hadn't He'd been using the Caspian wallet, right, for all the things that we do, and
Yeah.
we talked about like his chores. Which, by the way, you gave me an idea too, because I think I've been paying him a little bit too much, right, for things. So I'm like, let me make this about the Caspa, the amount of Caspa that he's gonna, because you said that you did that with your son. So I'm like, hey, you do everything. Yeah,
You
I'm
get
like,
help in the shovel. Yep.
yeah. So I came up with a little rhyme. So let's see if I can remember it. But it was something about like you do your work and pick up the trash, then you'll 100% get all of your cash, something like that. I was like, you do your work, pick up your trash, and then I went off, and then he's always smiling, laughing at me when I because I'll sit there and freestyle dumbass shit sometimes. But anyways, I made a little rhyme about him getting his 100 cash, and yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start paying him 100 cash in a week. So even though in dollar terms it's not a lot right now, um, I think that'll be a pretty cool transition, right? And then maybe price things for him in Caspa versus the dollar. Consider we know what's coming with.
For me in that particular concept, that's why I needed to do the 20 cast so I can start understanding Caspa better. Right? Because if
Yeah,
I go, I'll pay you $5 for helping to shovel snow, and I go to give him the $5 equivalent, I'm consistently looking at dollars before I look at cash. I don't look at dollars at all when I give him cash. I just go, you help shovel, here you go. Here's 20 cash. And I did the
yeah, I
same thing.
like that about how you did that. So that's what gave me the idea to do that with him yesterday.
Yeah. So, shit, since we're giving out our kids' handles, the pawn.cast, that's my kid. I'm Bishop. He's the pawn. So the pawn.cast
The
is,
pawn, okay.
so that's his KNS. So now, so it shouts to Castle. Castle did an upgrade on their wallet where um, you can send KNSs back and forth now. Because I sent his to my Castle wallet because I had my phone on me. I didn't have his, and I was trying to send it to him and I couldn't. So I just reached out to Castle on Twitter. I'm like, hey, what's up with this? They go, next update, no worries. And then, yeah, like within a week, they updated. I was able to send the KNS to him. And then this
Cool.
last time, up shovel, bang, here's 20 casts to the pawn.cast. Yeah, it was awesome. So
Yeah, so I love that about the Casanova wallet. You can send whatever KNS domain you have. So that's cool, and you can personalize it, like put a picture on there. So I set his up. He loved it, and yeah, it was great. Oh, the other thing that I love about the Casanova wallet is that it's integrating Casilla messaging. So I noticed there's been a big spike with that, and there's a beta test going out there that Silver talked about. He'd sent me a link to join that. I haven't been able to get on it, so I maybe need to reach out to him because the link isn't necessarily working for me. But it's cool because yeah, I saw 16-bit in here earlier. Like we've gone back and forth on some of this messaging, but yeah, I love the way it's set up. Right, I haven't really used it as much up until the last couple days. Putting my son on it on the Casanova wallet, so instead I've used, but I like down at the bottom where it has the chats thing, and then when there is a message, it shows. I don't get a notification, but it shows that I have a message if if there's a message. So yeah, man, trying to use these tools,
no,
incorporating to living on the Casper standard.
that's really cool. And I know it's not exactly what Casmi's been talking about for the last couple months, about having like full wallet integration when it comes to like the NFT trading and other apps and things that can happen. But this sounds like a really good first step for Caspa to have something like the Casanova that can integrate Casilla messaging like that. For instance, on Vivor, they integrated Casilla messaging as well, and the fees to message are just so tiny, so tiny. So I don't know exactly how everything is connecting with each other right now. For instance, can you do Casanova to have the same Casilla messaging address to be on Vivor and chat. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one account that links to everything, similar to like a Google account that links to everything. I don't think we're quite there yet with Kaspa, but again, the more connections Kaspa can have within the community that are, trustless, permissionless. It doesn't take, well, in order to use this, give us 30 cash, to unlock this feature or whatever. Whatever the V4 guys did to integrate it, whatever the Casanova guys did to integrate it, like, that's fucking awesome. Whatever Castle Wallet did to add those KNSs, KNS trading, awesome. And you can mint KNSs in the Castle Wallet now, so you can just buy it right there.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's great. I imagine. I mean, if you have the domain name, it should, because I used it on a browser, and all the messages that I have, like I'm looking at it right now, like I messaged Caspa Silver, and it goes to all of them. So I wonder if on Vivor, if you're using bishop.cas, or I know you're, or
I don't have
like what are people?
Whoever has it, can I have it, please? I'll pay you cash for it. Not like a million cash, but like, I'll give you a couple cash. But whoever has Bishop,
so you don't have bishop.cas? Okay.
No. So if you want to, you can send it to bishop.cas. So I have the number 2 bishop.cas. We also have since we're talking about, we have lotks.cas and live on the caspastandard.cas for some energy exchange donations. Again, thank you, Damien, who's now in the spaces. He was on Vivor, tipped us 5 cash, much appreciated. It cost 1.2 cash to put the stream up. You just helped us do another 4 streams, so much appreciated. So yeah,
and I wanted to shout whoever, somebody randomly. I randomly got. This is another thing about the Casanova wallet. I got an alert that somebody sent me 280 cash.
Oh wow!
It just came out of nowhere. I was going to pick up. I had a college friend here on Saturday, right when I was going to when I was talking on the spaces that Victor held, that Caspa Silver held. I was like, I got a notification, 280 Caspa sent to me, and did I text? I thought I texted you. I don't know.
No.
So was it you that sent that to me, or I checked with Kara? It wasn't Kara. I'm like, it didn't come from beneath the surface or you. Like, so somebody randomly sent me 280 Caspa.
You're loved, man. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. So whoever it was, I appreciate it. Received. Thank you very, very much. That means a lot, So thanks for sending that. Shout out to whoever that was. I tried to look and see if I could figure it out. I couldn't, but I received randomly 280 casts. Grateful for that.
Yeah, your energy was appreciated.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was cool to see Victor run a space. His content has been so important on YouTube. And he's self-admittedly stepped away to do the family thing, and but to be, I mean, he's only 23, but these kids nowadays, they know more than we do.
Yeah. There's gonna be more Victors popping up left and right as soon as they discover. But he's just ahead of the game for sure.
Just the way he speaks on it, it's important. It's important the way he speaks about Kaspa.
It really is, man. Yeah. It really is.
It's good to see him up there doing his thing. I enjoyed the space for a little bit while I was able to listen. I had to step off right after you were done talking. I was actually winding down when you hopped on. I was like, well, let me see what Juan's got to say here. And of course, the beautiful messages between you guys was awesome. So shouts to Silver and what he put together. But yeah, man, not to cut it off, but I saw we had a request to speak, so I went in there. Did you want to add up anything else on the Juan Bishop before we bring in the guest?
No, man. I just want, of course, again, appreciate whoever sent me the Kaspa. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, man, we don't do this for that. We're out here working, right? We're building some things. We're not going to announce anything yet, but Bishop and I are cooking up some things. I got the entrepreneurial hat. I mentioned I'm in this office. I'm excited. This is an exciting time for me. The sentiment is down, number is down. This is the time to put your head down and build. So Yeah, man. We got Seb up here. The cast maps, not maps. The cast map, man.
Yes,
Map,
yes, map.
man.
We have.
Good to see
I
you,
got
Seb.
I got multiple maps, so maybe I should also register Cast Maps.
Yes.
But no, I think most people are getting it that it's Cast Map. By the every day, more people are saying it right, so that's good. No, I saw you guys, and I thought let me hop in as well. Uh, I have been with you guys. I think since the first time you went live, also on V4, and I really am happy that there is also more of a that not just crypto talk podcast. And I think it's important what you guys are doing. You are setting a new trend. And there will be many more to follow, but I'm just happy that you guys are here, and yeah, I can enjoy listening to your talks. So yeah, I just wanted to say hi, and I was triggered because I saw Kasme from kasmart.org. I posted one in the X community, and I pinned it there because I was just looking at his website, and I thought, oh, there are plenty of new items already in there. And let me spread the word a little bit on X. And I think, let me see, there are already pretty much, let me see, on X. Let me refresh here. Yeah, well, there's only a few hundred views yet, but still, there's a new outreach, 17 likes. So I hope I have sent some traffic to his website. Because if you are looking to Kasmart, M-A from the first letter, I don't know, the A, the I, and the E from the A team, you know, Kasmart. .org it's a marketplace, and yeah, you can I saw action figures, appliances, jewelry, toys, clothing, and more, and you can buy and sell stuff on there, and pay and get paid in cash. So I thought if you are having it on live on the Kaspa standard, that's also something. So maybe Kasmart can also request a mic and get yeah, and tell some about his project, about his website. So that was the trigger. But now I got a mic. I can also talk a little bit about I think the Dutch Kaspa meetup. If you guys,
yes. I saw the pictures.
That's definitely
you were out there. So
standard for sure. You guys were living on the Kaspa standard.
Yeah, tell us about that. Definitely
Yeah.
give us the download.
And thank you
Yeah.
for the words, Deb. That was beautiful. It really made me feel very happy on the inside for you to speak so
He's
kindly.
like this in real life too, Bishop. He's
not
like this in
fair.
real life. Like
Not
this
fair.
isn't a character he's playing. He doesn't look like that. He doesn't look like his profile picture at all.
He doesn't?
You know, so but way
No.
better looking than that little green thing. But he's definitely like this in person. Like Seb is consistent. The man works. I got to shout you out too, Seb, because it's like Seb's been building, and then he'll get on a call with me, and he's like, "Oh, it's okay, it's perfect. The kids are just asleep." I'm like, "Isn't it like 11 p.m. over there?" And then he'll stay on the phone with me till 1, 2 in the morning. I'm like, "Bro, go to bed." And then he's up early and then commenting on everything. So, yes, we appreciate you. Thank you for the kind words. And you know, we're out here, Bishop and I connected like you and I connected, and
Mhm.
you know, it's great that you know, we're having people in here listen live, and we're just trying to contribute what we're good at, which is having real conversations and relating all this confusing tech stuff to real everyday talk. And we do think it links to sports connection, you know, some of the things that are kind of hard to talk about, and all that. So yeah, man, thank you for the kind words, man. It means a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sure.
go ahead. I'll shut up now. You tell us about the event. Give us the download on that.
Yeah, well, we wanted to have a real Dutch meetup, but in the end, we talked mostly in English because of people from other countries joining us. From the Netherlands, it was Paul, Olaf, and me, and the others came from abroad. But it's of course no problem to talk in English, because in the Netherlands, even the children learn English at school already. And so also my 9-year-old daughter, she's also already learning English in school. And so yeah, we are growing up with the American mostly television, and we get English or Cambridge English in school. So for me, I always mess up the two languages because for me it's just English, and that will you guys probably will notice that I either write or speak both English versions mixed, but you probably think, oh, that's just a Dutch guy trying to do his best, and that's true. So that's so that's me. But we were in Utrecht near a little canal, as there are a lot in Utrecht, and for instance also in Amsterdam we got them a lot. I think Tom and Chris also posted some pictures from the canals in Utrecht, and one of the biggest or most successful things of the day were the bitterballen, the bitterballs, the croquette. It's a Dutch ragu-like snack made of meat and then fried. And if it just tastes very good, but since it's a little bit soft because it's ragu, I don't know if you know what is ragu, but it's like a saucy like stew of meat and some other ingredients to give it a good taste. But if you look at it, it's not that tasteful because it's a grayish, but it's really. Yeah, it's one of the Dutch favorite snacks, and I do know that, for instance, Tom and Chris, they at first they didn't, they were a little bit afraid to try it, but after the first bite, they wanted more, and they also took back. They bought a bag and took it with them to England, so it was a success. Where we were, there were also a lot of different beers. Well, I had to drive, so I was on drinking Coca-Cola. The waitress, she was making fun of me in the end of the evening, asking if I wanted some more lemonade, like the children lemonade. No, that was fun. Yeah, and of course, Olaf, who initiated this, he opened with a talk about the community sense of Kaspa, also a little bit about NFTs, but mainly also from a community point of view. The Visual Eye then came also with a presentation, and that's he's Scottish, so he can pronounce the G, the Dutch G, because they also have the Loch, like Loch Ness. But he also did a presentation for art. It was also really interesting, I must say. He's used to think in business concepts or concepts translated it into products, for instance, or other ways to communicate ideas and make them more practical. And so he was also doing that with a very nice tagline for like a B&B competitor for cabin, and that was being off-grid, on-chain, and I really like that tagline. And so he also shared ideas, and it was very interesting. Then the third speaker, that was me, talking about Kasmap and what you can do with it. And I was under the impression that everybody already knew who was present there, but well, you can do a lot more with CasMap than most people think. So it seems. So yeah, they were also pleasantly surprised with all the options. Also, if you start a group, and I also here again, I just want to ask people, just make an account. You can do almost everything also with a free account. But yeah, organize amongst yourselves by creating groups, and just also start local events, because it really makes a difference if you have a local event. Same as for us. And we will do a follow-up. Probably we will do two a year, one for the Netherlands and one aimed at Europe. Olaf is the guy who will also be the initiator, and I will be tagging along and helping him. But then we have a yearly European Kaspa event and a yearly Dutch event. There's one in the spring, one in the fall, something like that. And this can be done by anyone in his or her own country and or in his own continent or part of the continent. Because yeah, Europe is rather small, so it's easy for everybody to come here. Asia is a lot bigger, so I can imagine in Asia you have several Asian events. Oh, and one of the things, and I hope I can publish it before this show is over, a new blog deck viewer. I showed 3 of them. And I hope I can publish. Yeah, I wanted to publish both this weekend, but I didn't manage. But today I think I will manage to publish one. And yeah, I think you will like it. It was a success also there, because you can see really the reordering at the start. So I really try to show the what's happening with the blog deck, because it's different than the blockchain. So it should be a little bit educational, and give more insights in how it really works. And the other that I will be also launching this week, then the other one is a globe, and you can see the transactions going from person to person, or from person where or to whatever. If you have 2 wallets on a CasMap, so you can put in your own wallet, public wallet. I must say, do not put your main wallet in there that anybody can see how much you have, but just use the wallet you can use for every day. And say if I make a transaction to Juan, you see an arc appear from my city to his city, and just go over the globe. So it's a really nice view representation of how to do it. And same, by the way, with the block deck viewer. You can also, if you have your own wallet saved in CashMap, you can also see that your transaction is being picked up, and it will show in which blocks your transaction is. So you can really dig a little bit deeper to get a greater understanding of Kaspa. Then also Paul van Son did a presentation about KII with a presentation he got from Rory. I think Rory might be listening, I see. So thank you for the nice presentation. Paul, he did well presenting it, and we were all listening with a lot of attention. And yeah, of course, it's an industrial initiative, and that's also it was also made clear, of course, with all the practical applications that KII is working on to be implemented. So it was also a very, very interesting talk. And yeah, after that we had what we are calling a borrel. I don't know. We had a drink and something to eat, and then some went home and others stayed. And yeah, well, I think till around midnight or so. It lasted, so it was very nice. And that was the Dutch meetup, and we will, as I started with, we will do a new one for the Netherlands next year, and I hope that then more Dutch people will be there, and probably we will be also in Amsterdam this fall, do one for Europe. So yeah, that's my input for today. my download for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's always cool to see the in real life events and people connecting, and cool that I've had the pleasure of meeting, you, Chris, and Tom. So yeah, just a little sneak peek for people that haven't been able to link up with other Caspians of what the energy is like. The pictures don't do it justice, but hopefully you get a little insight with what it's like when Caspians get together. And I'll
It's
tell
really
you,
different.
yeah,
It's
it
really
really is,
different.
right? It really is. I
Yeah.
mean, I've spoken to this before, but just to reiterate it, when we met, it was funny when we met in Berlin. I remember you coming up to me and you were like, Juan, and I was
Yeah.
like,
I thought, hey, I know
okay.
that face.
And I was like, and then you're like, oh, I'm Seb. I'm like, okay, yeah, you look nothing like you do in your profile picture. So,
Oh, okay. Wait. Sorry, I have to respond. Let me explain. Yeah, I once had this idea for an educational program, also on YouTube or something like that, for parents to teach their children how to handle money. Because I think it's one of the things that I'm doing with my children, or that we are doing as a family, me and my wife, for our children. We don't give them allowance, never. We do give them money to invest, and for instance, in stocks. They can also invest in Kaspa, of course, and of course they do, but they also invest in stocks. And one of they also learn that there are two types of stocks. One is for growth, and the other is for income. Just to make two, say a big distinction between the two. The growth stocks, those get most attention, normally spoken, in the press, because they have the most exciting price developments. But especially those that provide an income, that pay a dividend, for instance. Often they are many decades old, or even more than 100 years old. Those don't get as much attention, but what they can do is they provide a quarterly, or some even a monthly payment. So the fun thing is, because most children with an allowance, they learn, I have to save before I can buy something, but then it's gone. We try to teach our children not to budget, because the allowance is learning children to budget. We want to learn our children to manage money, and that's something different. And that also makes sure that they will keep their money and not just spend it all on whatever things people want to spend it on, but make sure they handle money wisely and can grow it. And the fun thing is that if they don't spend it, but they invest it, I often take a reality income stock as an example, ticker O. They pay every month, and that payment, the dividend payment, is there. They can do with it what they want. So they can reinvest, or they can buy stuff with it. But the fun thing is, if they spend that dividend, it's no problem, because next month they get another dividend. And from our experience, monthly paying dividends, or monthly distributions from funds, that is the most stimulating way for little children to invest because they get feedback every month. Well, since I am pretty libertarian leaning and I like stuff that has to do with money, the concept of money, and also this. And there are many people with problems for money, with handling money. I thought, well, I could do something with this and start a YouTube or something, also with the children. And for that, also for the children ourselves, I had I hired some designer on Fiverr to make a family made of coins and billiards and paper money. So he made 4 characters, one representing me, one my wife, and for each of our children also one. And that is how I came to this profile picture.
Ah, there we go. I didn't know that. I mean, you've talked to me about what you do with we've heard about it, like with what you do with the kids, and
yeah.
But I would love to keep learning because I'm someone who really invested in stocks. I've always been a proof of work. I built businesses and I've made money, and then fortunately got a little bit of Bitcoin, then a lot of Bitcoin, and now for me, I see Kaspa as an opt out. But I love how you talk about the concept of teaching them to manage money.
Yeah, instead of budgeting.
Absolutely, exactly. Because no, I'll be straight up. Like the way I look at it, it is from a what do you need versus what do you want. And you've we've had conversations about this. I think it's something that even someone like myself, I would sit down with my son. He'd be very interested in this because he doesn't spend his money. Seb. He waits. Like he has. My son has really long time preference for a 12-year-old. He's so patient, doesn't need to spend the money. And he's like, oh no, my birthday's in May. You'll end up getting me something. I'll just wait. And then he just lets his Kaspa sit there. And maybe he'll buy Roblox if he really needs it. And it's always the cheapest amount, So he has long time preference, which a lot of kids don't have. But what you're speaking about with having him choose and then see an immediate, or not immediate, but see a dividend, or even if it's a small amount, it doesn't really matter. They're kids, like they don't have bills like us. That'll definitely do something for them. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they see it grow.
I didn't realize that was your character sure. But yeah.
No, but they see it grow, and they start with nothing, and you can start the moment they can count, really. So say when they are 6 years old or something like that, they learn to count from 1 to 10, and that is the moment that that they are ready to start with it, and then because then they understand numbers, and that's really how do you say it? When you can start. And the fun thing is, I did the calculations before we started with this. And the amount of money that you normally give here, at least in the Netherlands, to an allowance from young, when they are young till they are 18 years old, they get the same amount in dividend over the years, as if you would just give it as an allowance and you spend it all. Only thing is that they have gotten this dividend over those years. They get less when they are in preschool or in kindergarten. Say they get less when they are like up to 12 years. But after 12 years old, then you are already like 6 years into this. Then the money they are getting becomes to be more even than what they used to be getting. So they are getting more dividends than their peers are getting from the average allowance. And at the end of the 18th year, they have had as much paid out in dividends as they would have gotten paid over the years in allowance. Only thing is, they have all these assets giving them that money forever if they don't sell it. So
I wish you were my dad.
Yeah, I wish I was my own dad. Yeah, then my whole life would have been different then. But I did. No, this is something that I learned, and I wanted to give to my children. They see it for themselves because they don't talk about money really, also not about this, but they see from their and they hear the stories from, for instance, in school from other children who buy stuff and spend it, and they know, okay, they don't have money, and it does something to the brain to know that you have, if you have nothing, or if you do have something and you have that plan also. So they have this experience, and they feel good with it. I did I don't know 3 or 4 YouTube videos about this, but then I saw that nobody really was paying attention, and I did some research, and there is nothing like I did some research up front, but there is no real, really not a market for this.
For that.
Yeah, because most people who are interested in money and want to learn about money, they want to learn it for themselves first. This is really a niche within a niche.
It is, yeah. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, but I could continue with it. It's still something that I like, but it didn't catch my motivation that much, to be honest. And if you are doing something like that, you really need to like it. For instance, with Kaspa, I do have that. Anything to do with Kaspa, I do have that motivation. That's different. I think it's not a fit for me to do that subject.
Yeah,
but that's
maybe
the
not.
that's the originating story. Yeah.
I would definitely be interested in watching the entire catalog that you would create, because there definitely seems like a sovereignty aspect to it, where you take control of your own destiny when it comes to your finances. And to your point, learning that at such a young age, it becomes a learned behavior like anything else, and then you start to be able to build on that. So I hear you, and I wouldn't want to force anything onto you that you're not passionate about. But I do think as tech and crypto explodes, we saw it during the pandemic, right? The retail trading when it came to stock and things that came about there. But so many people jumped into it uneducated, and I think that's happening right now in crypto, right? When everybody got access to the Robinhood app, and we're like, oh well, I can buy this, I can buy that, I can buy this, I can buy that, and they just do it because they have their hands on it. But now in this downturn in the crypto market that we just saw over the last week, in my opinion, not that I know this for sure, but in my opinion, it's a lot of people who are just, they're like, the fear and greed index. They're just afraid of losing their money, so they get it out and they don't know what to do with it. I think something like this, where you seem highly intelligent on the subject, could help people structure, their own success there. I mean, look, I'm ready to buy the O stock right now. I don't know how, when, or why, but I'm looking into it. I'm going to try to get these dividends. But I hear that because I have these conversations with Juan too, because I own real estate properties. So I put my money in real estate, so they give me the dividend monthly of rental income. And the investment that pays you back is something I'm incredibly interested in, because I don't want my money to go to waste. And then also, if that asset has maturation, like most real estate will over 10, 12, 15 years, you're getting, growth in the asset plus income over time. It's kind of like a win-win. So I'm always interested in investing my money that way. So again, not that you have to, but if you did, you definitely got a viewer over here.
Yeah, like maybe it's something to table right now, but like Seb said, it sounds like a niche within a niche. Like if he could have, maybe a handful of, say, well, what he's passionate about, CastMap, that builds out all these people on board to CastMap. There's going to be people like us with kids that don't have the knowledge Seb has. Then he'll be able to offer that through what he's doing with the CastMap. So I'm of the opinion that, like, no idea and no business is really a bad idea. Just like you're either too early, too late, or there isn't a market for it yet. So he responded to what the market was telling him, and then you do got to go, if you're going to work on something and not necessarily receive profit for that, you got to have a passion for it. And obviously he's found that with CastMap, and we're grateful for that, man. But yeah, I love the knowledge that Seb drops.
Well, and that's the faith too, right? Is you see the proof of work in CastMap, and you go, this thing's brilliant. And then I can't wait to see the transactions happen. We'll put that up on live on the Kaspa Standard for sure. We'll do a screen grab of that, do a transaction, watch the thing go back and forth. And shit, we might be able to start the show every time on Kaspa.
Well, and he shared it. By the way, he shared it. I was excited. I couldn't say anything, but I got to see that. So Seb did that with me. And I couldn't record it. I couldn't talk about it. I have a big mouth, so it was really, really tough.
No, you were really diligent, or how do you say it? It's nice that you kept quiet.
No, I can keep. I value what people. You know, I'm a man of my word, man. So I will not say anything. It's just, but you just mentioned what it is, and I got to see it. So I feel special. Thank you for sharing that with me. And guys, when you see this, it's going to be super, super cool. So everybody that has heard us on Spaces knows that I've volunteered helping you with what my skill set is, and you know that doesn't take away from anything that I'm doing over here and building what I got to build. So I think that's the beauty of this decentralized protocol, right? We're building from it's not a top down thing. It's like you literally can spread yourself with wherever your talents are, give here, give there, and the more you connect with things that naturally flow with you, we're building a solid foundation, and that's going to trickle from the top up, right? So it's the complete opposite of that other system where you sometimes have to take out loans and look for fiat. So right now is a great time to be building and to connecting with other people in the community and get the ideas out. So I've talked to Seb, I've talked to a handful of people, and I've had conversations with Gonzo. I'm excited about his ideas and what he's doing, and I'm just going to keep encouraging people. Like, the ideas are one thing, the execution of those ideas is what we need. Do not be afraid to just put it out there. Straight up, some of it's probably not going to look like how you think it. You're materializing it in your head. Put it out there. Just put it out there. Let the Caspians of the market respond, and we'll let you know. And then you just adjust. Doesn't mean you stop on that, but like you adjust and move as you need to go. And that's what's gonna build this thing out. That to me is what adoption looks like, when people take action on the ideas, and you can actually build on top of this, and it's encouraged within our community. So that's another thing that I love about Cat. So Seb talked about the energy. That's when I met him in Berlin, and to kind of trace back to what I was saying there. He obviously knew who I was because I put myself out here. But in talking to Seb, like I've talked about this before. I know you and BitCat were talking a little bit, but I remember that conversation kind of materializing from there. And then look at what you've done with CastMap, right? And that's what happens when Caspians get together, man. The energy is just different. And again, not to take away from because I'm really gonna get away from talking shit about the other protocols out there, because I do think that there needs to be bridges. Like, we need to bridge these gaps and really have people see what they can do here, right? There's benefits to being in Kaspa right now, and we talk a lot about what it could be. And I think there's these very intelligent people that want maybe specific messaging on how that needs to get out. But at the same time, you got to talk about what's here right now. What can it do? I mean, no other proof of work protocol can. I mean, Seb has created a visual of him sending a Kaspa from Amsterdam to Miami, and it's like in real time, right? Like, that is happening today on proof of work, confirmed. No other protocol can do that, period. Like, there's no comparison. So we got to talk about that. That's like the bridge, and then all the other stuff that's coming. Great, we can get excited about that, but I try to keep myself from time traveling to the future too much, right?
Yeah.
I count on Bishop to bring me there. Be like, but what does it look like, right? And then we can dream and get excited about it. Cool. But what is it right now? What is it right now? What can we do now? How do we bridge these gaps? So that's the opportunity right now. It's exciting.
Yeah, look at something like CastMap, and I go, man, could you imagine what that looks like in 3 years? Because of how great it looks right now, and how even dense the bubbles look, right? Every time I go on there and I see all these clusters of dots of where everyone's located, and I just go, man, could you imagine what this looks like in 3 years? There might be 1,500 to 3,000 to 6,000 people on there. Who knows what that number is? But whatever it is, it's definitely going to be more than what it is today, because the application itself is so brilliant. It's only going to grow and expand. This technology itself is so brilliant. It's only going to grow and expand. So as cool as it looks now, could you imagine how it's going to look in 3 days? Yeah. Get on Castmap. It's gonna be awesome to watch that grow together. So that's where my enthusiasm for the future comes from. I don't necessarily say, no. Today don't matter. But let's 6 years from now, I'll be ready.
100%. No, but again, looking at Kaspa for what it is right now, right?
Yeah.
Like let's talk a little bit about what it was in the past. It literally was the best proof of work protocol to send sound money in an instant on layer 1 when it was at 1 block per second.
Yep.
It's at 10 today, right? People are too focused on, most people are measuring all of this from all that we've had, which is the fiat based system, right? And then they're looking at how things have been done. And then we got other protocols that have ossified and push narratives out there, right? And then we find ourselves battling with that and trying to, but look at what we have over here. Literally all you have to do, I've done this in a classroom and I need to video this. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do this at my son's school. So I said this like 6 months ago and I haven't recorded. But I literally had kids try Kaspa and try Bitcoin. You don't have to talk. Just let them do, and like they'll be like, okay, we're going to do this. We mentioned Kaspa Silver earlier. That's one of the things he talks about. He's like, my generation, we're used to things being instant. So from right there, that's all you got to do to show somebody, hey, get some of this. I'm not telling you to go invest and throw everything that you have in there, or that there is no second best and have fun. None of that shit matters. But that's the starting point. Now, once they have a little bit of Kaspa, they have some Kaspa, man. That's an energy transfer. Like you can't take that back without their permission. Actually, they'd have to want to send it back to you. So now they're in Kaspa. That's onboarding, right? It's that simple. How they get it, it doesn't fucking matter. Like I think we overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
All this other beautiful things that we're building, great, awesome, cool. But today, it's better than anything else out there. We know that. But how can we transfer that? Again, there's more people that see crypto for what it's been for 17 years versus where it's going, right? And then we had the KII on here. Think about the conversations we've had with him, Bishop, right? About they don't even, they're industry facing. They're not talking to retail. So we experience all the retail shit, all the store, all the back and forth crap on here, which is entertainment when it comes down to it. It's not real life. Like when I get out here and just have a conversation with somebody, how come by the end of it they have a little bit of Kaspa? It's because I'm real with them, and they eventually get to like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, have you ever downloaded a wallet? Oh, I know about Bitcoin. They get into the investment stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's all complicated. Here's what it was meant to do. Download this wallet. Okay, now notice you don't have to put in any personal information. Okay, cool. Check this out. I'm going to transfer some energy to you. Oh, what do you mean? Just watch. Cool. Okay, so I just sent you that without like, think about when you do that with Zelle. When you send a Zelle, that's probably the quickest way you send money. You had to do that through a bank. We just did that on a network that's decentralized, meaning nobody owns it. It's all these people that have come together on a protocol, and nobody's in the middle of our transaction. I say that pretty much every time I'll send a Kaspa to somebody. You just go there with it, they're like, oh, super cool, right? But it's really that. It's trying to simplify this as much as we can. And, there's a lot of complexities in terms of, what's coming, Covenants plus and VPROGs and all these complicated big old brain words, right? That everybody throws out. All that is exciting. All that's in the future. It's not here yet. With what we have right now, today, the people could benefit from this. They just, and that's why I say it's one conversation at a time, right? It's all exciting, man.
It's all exciting. That's really true, and we already get Kaspa as as a payment system, really, that's beating everything out there. This is on its own already near perfect money, to be honest. So that it's I think we can do a lot already for adoption in that way, either by onboarding merchants or getting more how to say, awareness of Kaspa amongst other people. I think we just should be doing that as a community, and well, I will be keep repeating this more 2026. I think we should not only be a community. I think we should be a movement, and there's a important distinction between the two. A community comes together and has fun and can chit chat a lot. But people in a movement, they got a common goal and act to make the vision they share into a reality. And so I really, I've been pushing this now for a month or something. I think in 2026, we really have to make that change from more of a community into at least part of the community, into acting as if we are part of a movement. And that means also taking risks, putting yourself out there, potentially being laughed at, being mocked, stuff like that, because people are afraid of what other people might think of you. But I think you can just do it in a pretty normal way, same as is done for all the other coins out there, and other innovations is just by talking about it, and not being a hype man, but just talking in general about what Kaspa can add to somebody's life, and just help them also to change their perspective. It's like Bitcoin was in the early days, really, or any how do you say it? Any other ID that you want to spread? You have to talk about it with people, and some will like it and some won't. And as long as 1 out of 100 likes it, and we all talk enough about it, you will see it grow. But it's not like I buy Kaspa and I sit on it and I just wait and hope and pray that it will all get accepted and adopted. No, you need to do something about that. And so, yeah.
That's the big thing. I mean, the common thing that Seb's saying there, and what I'm speaking to too, and Bishop, and what we'll keep reiterating on every single show, every time we talk. It isn't about just you put a post up about that, right, Bishop?
Oh yeah.
It's not just about hodling. I see Victor on here. Good to see you, buddy. Victor has been saying it for a while. Like, this isn't, even his channel, and speaking to him, right? Silver, the narrative silver isn't about it being a compliment or anything like that. It's about it actually being used. And once that takes a little bit to get to know when you're trying to understand what this technology is about. But proof of work, how does proof of work work? You have to do some work. You can't sit back and hodl. You cannot sit back and hodl. A lot of the people that speak to that on Bitcoin, if you just look at their background, they're financial people. They weren't in Bitcoin, when Seb was, Seb was in here, bought altcoin.com, and has, talked about his libertarian background and what the movement was about when this all started. It was about, literally trying to free people from something that, they don't even know that they need to be freed from. So that can be complex. The conversations are different for each and every single individual, but at the foundation of what this is about, Kaspa will not survive. No proof of work protocol will survive if you just sit back and wait and hodl. Like, if we all did that, it's not going anywhere. We have to use this. We have to use it. there's a foundation being laid. It's so much more than just that. We've talked about and had people on here. I'm thinking of, Parker specifically, where he brought that to us. It's just like, yeah, it's a feature of Caspa that it can be um, the peer to peer, that it's fast. And yeah, there's a lot of narratives out there in terms of talking like, hey, maybe that isn't the most important thing, but it is an important part of at least getting somebody on board to start having the conversation. So, like Seb said, not every trust me, I get rejected. I have people that don't want to download it enough, but I have enough experience to where when I sit with someone, I'm not like, oh, it's not for them. I sit there and think, okay, what did I say? How did I say it? Oh, okay, where was the disconnect? And that's just from like experience in terms of being able to talk to somebody a second or third time and trying it again. Like that's just how I'm built. That's how I'm built. That's how I function for the past 25 years of my life. So I'm not saying you got to do that. But if you want to learn how to onboard, reach out. I'll have a conversation with anybody who's trying to have a conversation with, their family or anybody like that. Like I'm not, you know what? I need to take a picture of this, Bishop. I need to take a picture of everybody in my family with a Caspa wallet and like Caspa shirts. Cause like everybody in my family is onboarded. And it wasn't like easy with all of them. But yeah, the onboarding starts with you. The adoption starts with you. And this is, we can't speak enough to what this protocol really is. And that's why people passionate like Sam can sit there and work 23 hours a day, sleep 1 hour, and then come back and continue to build. That's why we get people like as young as Victor down there being Caspa Silver and putting out fire content. Like for a long time was the only person really putting out quality content on what Caspa is and really explaining it to a level. So many of us have been onboarded by Caspa Silver. So
Oh,
grateful
sure.
for him. But it can't just be Caspa. He's spoken to this. It can't just be him, right? And there is a shift happening right now, right? Like his account was Caspa Silver. And there, from hashtag himself too, we've kind of heard this. It's like we need real people talking about real shit, doing real things. That's what needs to happen right now, right? So just bring yourself to the table, and again, there were people in the spaces that I've had conversations with, Bishop, that I know like before we're kind of just not necessarily in the background, but like, maybe talking more to the Bitcoiners and going back and forth. And we don't, there is no worldwide adoption right
Right.
now. Most people look at crypto like a joke, right? So,
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of the points I was making over this weekend when I was kind of getting frustrated with the, we had the conversation on here about the discoordination and decentralization and what all that means, and part of why I tweeted the tweet that you had mentioned, I brought up. I said I think those in Caspa should use hold and not hodl, right? Because honestly, I didn't even know what hodl was. I just thought it was a term that crypto or stock people use to try to like reshape vernacular, right? And then I searched it and it goes, okay, hold on for dear life is what it's supposed to mean. Okay. But my point in just kind of jumbling all those thoughts together is like everyone's trying to fit in with whatever this is instead of staying where we are and saying what we are. Right? Like we are Caspa supporters supporting a technology that basically all of us don't understand all of it. And the way we speak about it is from the space in which we understand. So that's where I'm coming from. So when we have people like Kaspa Onion who breaks down the fee market of Bitcoin and breaks down the fee market of Kaspa and is more thrilled with Kaspa's fee market, right, than Bitcoin's, but he also then you have a guy like Crypto Odie, and we love both these guys. Crypto Odie, who is projecting so far in the future that he's incredibly concerned about Kaspa's fee market, right? So he's speaking on it from where he believes we are. Onion speaking on it from where he believes we are. I had put up a couple posts this week about we went live Thursday because the charts, right? We did an emergency FUD crusher episode because the charts. Nothing fucking changed with Kaspa. Nothing. So why do we care what the charts say? Because some people are selling, it doesn't matter. Now, I'm not blindly convinced when I say this. But at the end of it, Kaspa will be fine. If Bitcoin fails, Kaspa will be fine. I do believe that in my soul. Okay? Because Kaspa's technology is different than Bitcoin's technology. So if one fails, the other one still has a chance because of what the other one has the ability to do. That's my personal opinion, not financial advice, but I do believe that just by looking at the simplicities of what can they do, right? For what Kaspa can do right now, it does it better than Bitcoin does. Done. It already can do that. So if Bitcoin fails, it doesn't mean Kaspa will. Some people who love Bitcoin for what it's supposed to be will try to find that thing that was what Bitcoin was supposed to be and go, you know what? I'm going to try it again on this one. And there will be enough people using it, and then they will see that it's not failing like Bitcoin did, and that will eventually help people migrate. What danger level is that? I don't fucking know, and I don't care. Because we also have people like Rory who are building some incredible shit that, again, we don't understand what it is, but at the end of the day, he does. And that expertise is so important, not for Kaspa adoption, but for Kaspa surviving. Yes, they may show an example in industrial use case that will have other industrial use cases. Yeah, I think I might have said this in a voice note to you, Juan, or it might have been someone else. But let's say Kaspa KII, I wish he was still on here. Let's say they use up 5% of the network, right? When everything they want to do, they use up 5% of the network. If they inspire 20 other companies to do what they're doing, guess what? There's no more room on the network. It's all used up. And if all of those networks revere crypto as little as Kaspa KII does and their entire industry does, then Kaspa will survive without being a crypto, right? Because it's going to be a use case technology for all the properties in which it's created, the immutability, the security, all that shit, right? All that's going to still exist regardless of what the chart says because the technology makes that much sense. And then by happenstance, the chart goes through the fucking roof because they create that congestion and they have to, Kaspa KI, I'm X business in Russia. I need more Kaspa. You know what? I'll pay you $5 million for 10 Kaspa because I need that Kaspa right now to keep my business going. That's how this shit works, right? It could get so congested it goes to supply and demand with big players that we don't even know who they are yet. That's possible with Kaspa. It's not possible with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin fails, Kaspa can still do that thing. Now, I said this in broad terms because I don't understand it, but I do understand the basics of what's capable, and that's important.
Yeah, bro. And I mean, you've done a good job to bring me there too with all of this. And I love having the conversations. Like I love having real conversations of where things are right now because in my personal experience, in my 25 years of living my life and trying to survive, and I've thrived, right? Whenever I got too far ahead of myself, I would find myself what I call future traveling, and I would miss out on what I needed to do right here, right now. So that's why I speak to that. And but at the same time, it's important to think about, hey, here's what's possible in the future. But it's way more important to come back to right here, right now. Look at the tools that you have, try to figure out what you can do, and more than anything, act and do whatever it is that you can do. Right? You're going to. I mean, that's one of the reasons I've run circles on. And again, I don't compare myself to people, but like from where I came from and what I've been able to experience and how I've been able to live my life, right? I didn't sell drugs. I didn't sell cocaine in Miami like a lot of people thought. I did when I moved down here. My life was very expensive for a long period of time. And I was a hustler. I was a grinder. And it wasn't until the past 7 years where it's like, okay, I figured out, oh shit, there's a different way to kind of vibe and do this. And that's what this technology, that's what it is. It's a technology, right? Is providing for us, right? So that's the to me the bridge that needs to happen, and I love the people within Caspa that are speaking to. But what are you doing? What are you working on? You have to use this, right? You have to use this. It's not about the hodl thing came in because that's all you can do with that coin. Like you can't really use it peer to peer. That's what it was supposed to do, right? So that is truth. And I don't need to talk or explain it. Let me try it. on layer 1. Try to use this. Okay, go ahead and send it. Okay. All right, let me show you something that has all the same ground principles and evolution of that technology. Use this. Oh shit. Okay, what do you think? That's all. Like, there is no explanation. Like that's all you really need to do to show it. And now, okay, now dive into it. What can you do? Now we can build on this. You know, we're going live here, and we're using Vivor. Vivor, the money layer of Vivor. People can tip us directly. We're showing it on screen. You can go to our KNS domain, live on the Kaspa standard.cas. You can send us direct tips. That's on layer 1. That the fees go to the miners. Right, this is what the entire industry was supposed to be in the beginning. What Seb talks about, and the parts that we're so excited about, that comes later. That comes later once people at least have a little bit of cash flow. So we can go off on this, but I see Buffalo has his hand up. Let's have Buffalo up to the stage. Welcome, Buffalo.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was trying to get on my phone. It was not working. I went through like 3 times. So thank you for your patience. First of all, good morning, guys. I have a busy morning. I just needed to stop in right now. I just need to let everybody know Kara's account got hacked. So I don't have her personal phone number. I don't have another way of connecting to her. So
Dude, I'll reach out.
Yeah, if you can call her or something, or text her or whatever, like let her know. But yeah. So I just want to like put that out there. It happened within the last 3.5 hours because I saw her last post. And I got up this morning, and then it's the same people who did Caspero. So they're like, you know, asking me for like, hey, like you want to come in for an interview? And I'm like, son of a bitch. So I know she was a little worried that she might have gotten hacked, and she said she got it cleared up a few days ago, but I don't know what happened. So anyway, just everybody, for now, Kara's account is not her.
Yeah, thank you for that. I just went into my DMs too, and I have a DM saying, hey. So yeah, thank you for that. Let's hopefully get in touch with Kara. Looks like they went a little bit harder at some other accounts. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, this is the second time they try to get me. So I'm just like, really? So it's the same framework, and I think it's like it's an AI generated response just to get you to click on, you know, their web, quote unquote, you know, live yards or whatever it is, because I don't think they're going through her messages, because they would have known that, oh, this person has has been talking to this person already. So what they did is they kind of just segregated a group or whatever and just pushed out this kind of AI response to a bunch of people on her list. So just an FYI, I just want to let you guys know.
Appreciate it. Juan,
Yeah, there have been many people hacked within the Kaspa ecosystem by the same trick. So it seems. I think this is the 3rd or the 4th already that I've been seeing over the last few days. So you really have to be mindful to click any link, also from people you know or think you know, because if they have hacked. Because Buffalo, did the account of Kara also DM'd you, or not that yet?
Yeah.
Because that is also one of the things that can happen.
Yeah, her account DM'd me this morning, and it was the same script that Caspero messaged me.
Yeah.
And she's actually the one, because I reached out to her and I was like, I didn't click on anything. I'm like, hey, do you know like what this is? Like, have you heard about this? And she was like, yes. Oh, by the way, they got hacked. I was like, oh fuck. She's like, don't click any of the links. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. So I was checking with her. It's just a shame that now she's the victim here.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a message from Marvin, and it was the same. You know, we're in the blockchain banter community chat, and it was the same thing. I got the same message, and I did see that about Kara. I sent her a message, and I have her cell, so I texted her to let her know, just in case she doesn't know. So yeah, I have her direct number, so hopefully she'll respond. And I mean, Kara's on her X, so she probably, if she can't log in or all that, I'm sure she's aware of it.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking, because I mean, technology changes. I mean, this could be a mirror, this could be anything. So she could be able to still get in there, or it might have locked her out. I don't know the program that they're using.
It's the same message. It's the same thing. Like, hey, I'm working on a small interview project with people's experience with crypto is the same thing.
Yeah. No, it's definitely the same. What I'm saying is that I don't know if they like shadowed it, like if they can access her account without her knowing and it locking her out. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I mean, we put a man on the moon. I feel like this is possible.
Did we?
Yeah, I know, right?
I wasn't gonna say anything. I'm glad Sam said
Okay.
that. Like, did that really happen?
Bro, okay. I do believe it happened, but I'll tell you this, just real quick. So if you have a telescope, you can actually look up and see the things that they left on the moon. So it did happen, but this is the question: did it happen when they said it happened? Because I know that we were in that race to beat Russia. So I think that we did go to the moon. I'm just not sure we went to the moon when they said we went to the moon.
I heard someone explain it that their personal opinion was very similar to that, and they said, "I do believe we went. I don't think any of the footage was in real time. I think it wasn't as not as beautiful, but like as seamless as they thought it was going to be. They actually suspect some extraterrestrial shit too, but they believe that we definitely got there, but because of adversity and it wasn't what we thought it was, that they definitely shot stuff on a soundstage just to give the piece to the world. So I don't know what to believe, and I don't necessarily put a lot of weight on it. I kind of came to this realization with the flat Earth conversation. Let's just say the Earth is flat, right? Let's just say. Okay, now what? But what are we doing tomorrow? Right? Like, what does it actually change? So, if we did go to the moon, if we didn't go to the moon, what does it actually change? Hopefully this next mission that they're having, we can use some of today's technology to have it look a little more seamless and they do become successful. But yeah, I mean, it's I think it would be cool if we were able to live stream that shit regardless of what happened, tragedy included. Knock on wood, nothing happens, but we should be able with today's technology to see every inch of everything that happens in real time. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah. I don't know if they're going to want to share that, but I mean, I think it'd be rad.
They should just put it on the nose of the space shuttle and let's see what happens.
Yeah,
they should. So they probably won't.
Right.
They should, exactly. So they never.
Well,
do
with
what
everything
they should do.
with everything going on, I think we can see that they never do what they should do.
I tell you what, with everything going on, it would be a great distraction. I would buy into this distraction as opposed to some of these other ones. I'd pay attention to this one a lot more than these other ones, for sure.
Bro, I'm not even reading the files. I mean, we know that powerful people are corrupted, but like, I don't even want to read the files. I don't want to touch them. Like, it's all just such bad juju that I just don't even want to put it in my body.
Bad juju is correct, bro. Run from it. Yeah, we opened the show. I was talking about, I'm not really aware of what's going on. Don't turn on the TV. I stay away from it. I try to live in real life. Because they make it worse than it actually is, bro. You go out and actually interact with people and talk. It's not as bad as we fucking see on TV and shit, man.
Well, I agree with you on that, but I'm just specifically talking about the Epstein files because I think it's worse than what they've told us.
That's true. That's true.
I think it's way worse. That's like God's judgment kind of shit.
Yeah, Juan and Kara did a good episode on Wednesday, starting out with the Epstein files, and I hopped on a little bit to talk, and that's the one thing that bothered me is like, regardless of how good, bad, how worse or not as worse, 0 people attached to this have come to judgment. It's fucking bullshit. Like it's okay, protect some people. Stop redacting shit. This fucking like judgment. That's all we need is judgment, because that's as much. And again, let's kind of, you're right. Let's keep the juju very light. But just on this particular space, to restore faith in our government, to restore faith in humanity, to restore faith in just person-to-person contact, just judgment, just a little bit of judgment would be helpful. 5, 10, 15 people in handcuffs would be cool. It doesn't help people that had to go through it, but like just something. You know,
Well, what they're finding is it's not just a few. I mean, I know you're just saying pick a few people, but like it's like the whole government is
Yeah.
complicit, and that's a problem. It's like it's the whole government is
We're
being
not going to
named
have
in
a
it.
government if they do that, Bishop.
Well,
Which would
okay,
be
but
which would be
Special
great, which would be wonderful. I
special
think
elections,
we'd get a
you
lot more
know,
done.
unite your communities. Like it would be very helpful to have a nice reset. They talk about the great economic reset. How about a great government reset?
oh,
Anyway,
absolutely,
holding
absolutely.
elections through Caspa.
I do tell you
What
guys.
does that look like, Bishop? What does that look like, Bishop?
It looks
What
like
does that look
we'll
like?
still be live 12 to 3 every Monday, live on the Caspa.
As long as we have internet, I'm good. We have internet and Caspa, like that's all I need, and I can get food. I'm good. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Seb? I heard you speaking up, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, because it's also all that satanic ritual stuff, and so that's in there. I really, if you go into that, if you look into it, you will see it anywhere. You have to tell yourself a story that it isn't like that because you can
Yep.
see it is.
Yeah.
Well, if there is bad, there also should be good. And so I think that if you are not religious yet, and you look into that, I think it will turn people religious because of that, really, because it's
Oh,
really
yeah.
really terrible what's happening there. It's
Yeah.
like all the stories any religion in the world has been talking about the battle between good and evil. What's coming out of this? This is really evil, and yeah, I'm a parent myself, and so I cannot stand also the media and the politicians and the judicial systems because it's not only in the United States. This is widespread. That everybody just ignores it because if you are reading what they are doing with the children, and there's so much circumstantial evidence on so many levels, any of those should have been enough to open an investigation. And because the Epstein files are not the first ones. There was like 10 years ago, also the Podesta emails also already with this. And everybody was just talking in the media for, oh, this is all BS. No, it's in the mail. It's in the mails. You can read it. And now it's back again with the Epstein emails. It's just that people ignore it instead of following up and handcuffing or worse. I mean, there are people doing stuff there. You can read it yourself. And it's just so hard to accept what is being done to these people and to these children. It's really the worst of the worst. And really, those people, they need a judgment day, really. So
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
100%. And I don't know if they're going to get it here, but I mean, I'm a believer, so I believe that you can't escape God's judgment because this stuff is dark, man. I mean, we're talking about I mean, I don't want to go. I'm not going to go too deep.
No,
but,
I understand. Me neither. That's why I try to stay away from the details.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to bother Juan's little happy bubble either. I don't want to mess with his energy, bro.
Well, listen, I've shared. I'm not necessarily religious, very spiritual, and I respect all religions and what they come from. Here's what I do think, and just to tie it to what's being built on Kaspa, right? Like what is this technology going to do? It's going to reveal. Think about what Crumpet Media is trying to do with Lavendi and Chris. So what's happening with the fourth turning, right? So all these the system and what it's been for all these years is coming to a final end, and we're getting the worst of the worst. We're getting these horrible, where there is some truth with some of that, probably mostly truth, and eventually it's going to take us people like not standing for that anymore and really wanting the reset, because the only reason this all perpetuates is because we continue to vote for it, we continue to pay attention to it, we continue to give it energy, right? Which is natural. It's what we're going to do. But where are we going to go? What are the systems that are in place in order for us to opt out of that? And I see a completely different world in what is possible with a base truth layer where you cannot run from the truth. So to me, Kaspa provides that. Bitcoin started it, right? On proof of work, decentralization. Okay. And so like whatever it is that I'm thinking, or you guys are thinking that can be built on top of this. Yeah, we're talking about money right now and cast map and connecting people and people and their sovereignty. But think of like some of that shit that is happening. It it is, and I'm with you. I'm with you, Buffalo. I think you always reap what you sow. Whether
Oh
it's in
yeah,
this lifetime, I believe in multiple lives. Whether it's here or at some point, right? So to me, this is the life that I'm living right now. But I'm with you guys. I do not refute or disagree with however somebody views any of that. And it's time, bro. It is time for like a reset and for us to like really, really, really look at this deeply. And it isn't always supposed to be all bubbly and perfect, bro. We got to be real about this shit.
Well, that's why I
It's
think
an issue.
I compare. That's why I compare a lot of stuff to Caspa in my real life, and it sounds so weird that we're talking about such a sensitive subject. But when, like, again, we call this show live on the Caspa Standard, but because it started from that, uh, what seems to be a full transparency while in sovereignty, right? Like
Yeah.
you can absolutely make your own decisions within this and feel confident that those decisions are yours, respected, and can't be taken away. But there's 100% truth here all the time. So even if you are a bad actor within the community, it gets flushed out almost immediately because of how true things are here. So
for sure.
and it's not like we are the most compassionate people or the least fallible of anyone. No, but there's a lot of truth here, and not everyone's going to be as wide open and frequency accepting as Juan is. But for the most part, we haven't met that dark side of what Caspa is. And I knock on wood for that type of thing doesn't exist. But if it did, it would be flushed out by how together this community is in respecting its sovereignty, not just for ourselves, but for each other as well. I want Buffalo to succeed. I want Kara's accounts to not be fucking hacked because she's doing brilliant shit right now. And I want to support her as best as possible. I don't want someone to come in and ruin Caspa so someone like Seb can't continue to do what he's doing. So we're here to protect what is the individual sovereignty that we have, but also to highly respect everyone else's. And
Bishop,
see that those people
go
here
ahead.
right now, which is great. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and here's one of the aspects that I look at it, because looking at this as going into it as transparent as you can be, the worst part of a truth layered system, decentralized, secure, bounded by energy, like the worst part of it is that your enemies are going to use this, but you're incentivized to be truthful in this because you do not benefit from talking about Kara's account being hacked. Like if that shit was run on Caspa, it's fucking it's a lot harder to do that. I don't know if you can do that, but I just from the energy of this and how I speak on this and what you guys have gotten to know from me, it's very, you have to operate in truth because of the way this base layer is built, right? So the worst part of Caspa is that even your enemies have to use it, but you're more incentivized to be real and bring truth to it because you're not going to benefit from trying to fucking like circumvent the system. You can't do that.
We got receipts.
We got receipts, right?
Yeah, and
there's consequences.
Who was
like,
that group that rugged the community a couple months ago?
What was that?
There was a group a couple months ago that was getting people to invest in all that stuff, and then they just rugged the community.
Yeah,
whoever that was a couple months ago, that also was a learning curve for the rest of us to continue to interact with. Shasta Levendi, he just came in here, right? Continue to interact with blockchain banter to understand what fucking crumpets are, right? To go through what crumpet media is pushing forward and have these conversations with Rory and go after another. And what's happening, with all these projects is everyone building. Again, Seb, we have him on every show. And or every show he's in blockchain banter on Mondays and Tuesdays and here, and he's constantly engaging with the community and putting the proof of work out before anyone invests. Again, Seb puts all kinds of free features on CastMap, and you can invest to a paid membership. and do some things, right? Like, so yeah, man, like anyone who's trying to fuck over the community, we pretty much flush them out.
Yeah,
But
they get flushed out, man. So it's
Yeah.
like you're incentivized to be real, bring truth, and bring value. That's how you're going to see value within this protocol, within the system. The debt-based system, it's like you borrow from the future and you can mortgage the future and you can fucking manipulate things, and you benefit the more and more you hide shit. So it's crumbling down, man. It's just crumbling down. And technologies like what Kaspa is, what Bitcoin started, maybe a other handful of ones that are out there are providing a new base layer for us, because we need it. We absolutely need it. Like, this shit is getting old.
It is. Oh, Juan, did you, just because we're kind of on this subject, did you and Kara talk about the, I mean, not this scammer, but I'm sure she's had a conversation with you about somebody kind of close in the group that turned out to scam? Did you guys do any? Did you guys touch on that on any episodes? I don't want to bring up old stuff.
We have, and I don't want to publicly put anything out there because nothing's been confirmed, but we have,
Okay.
and
Cool.
I mean, all I'll say is, like, we're talking about that right now, right? What ends up happening when you do that? You get flushed out, and nobody remembers you, because it's going to come to the forefront. So that person isn't really around anymore. And everybody can come to their own conclusions, but we haven't confirmed, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm being careful, not trying to like blow it up. So but yeah, from my perspective, because I was I was in that experience, and from my perspective, that's exactly what happened. So not that I can confirm it, but yeah, it's just, people just be careful with who you trust. But the good thing with Kaspa is there is receipts and you can verify.
There you go, bro. Here's the thing: like, even though we're not mentioning a name or saying what it was specifically, people can come to their own. Like, you can literally go to the ledger and you can figure out if you want to. It's just easy to get the receipts, and you can't alter information, right? So that is one of the benefits of operating in truth in here. You will be flushed out if you try to come and scam people. You will be called out. You will be found out. You do not benefit in a protocol like this, not bringing value to others and being truthful about it. Like, you will be flushed out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's kind of the thing, is like, I mean, building a community to benefit the community will benefit yourself. So when you go in as a rat or a weasel or whatever, you do get found out and you do get pushed outside of that community. That's kind of what happens. So, I mean, you're literally burning a bridge that can bring you not only like friendships and connection, but you're also building, you're also ruling out possible business interactions, possible making money. Like what you're stealing is not going to equate to what you could profit from by helping the community. You know what I mean?
Dude, I sent a voice note to Juan. I don't know. I send him all the time, but there was one weekend. There was one weekend or a group of days where I was voice noting so many different members of the community through Telegram and Juan, and then in one of the messages that I received, something clicked for me, and then I just sent one, like a 45-second one. I was like, "Holy shit, dude! Like, I just got hit with this emotional charge of energy. I'm gonna know you guys forever. Like, we are at the base of what this is, and the idea again of what Casper looks like 10 years from now, right? All of us in this community, and I know Buffalo, you've spoke on cashing out later on when something hits a certain number, recoup some entry fees and things like that. But all of us in the community are truly looking for not to become incredibly rich when Caspa hits $10 or $12 or a million or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but we're looking at the long game because of all those properties that this brings and how cool that's going to be. And by happenstance, we are all going to be able to meet up one time at this place, wherever it is. And there's going to be a group of 100 of us who have been doing this for X amount of years because it does mean this much to us, you know, and that's all going to come through the truth of Kaspa. And it just hit me in those conversations. I was like, holy shit, we're not talking about how to help fix Kaspa right now. We're building our relationships because of that party we're going to be at 5-10 years from now. And when we go, holy shit, remember those conversations we were having 5-10 years ago? Man, we really did it. We're really here right now, you know. And Juan hits me back with we are here right now.
Yes, there we go. So yeah, had to come with a wand truth, a wand bomb. Yeah, so I remember one conversation that we had in Buffalo. You were in it. I believe it was on Beneath the Surface, but we were, you know, kind of thinking of asking everybody, what would you do if Kaspa got to this price? What would you do if it got to that price? And I think it's beautiful to dream of that, right? But I can tell you, as someone that came into this protocol, not to, I came in here wealthy. Like, I have money in the bank. I shared somewhat of my story. I do not have as much as I did before because I aped in. I put in a lot in the Kaspa. I am still the same fucking guy that I was day one. Like, nothing's changed. And I remember in that conversation, I told you guys, you were like, well, what would you different? I'm like, nah, I'm living exactly the way I would if I had $100 million in the bank or if I had a fucking dollar in the bank. Like, nothing changes. Maybe there's challenges day to day, but I'm the same fucking dude, man. I'm the same guy. And, you know, for me, that's what I want to relay within the community, because it's like, it's taken a lot. Trust me, I haven't always been this way. This is not, you know, there's been a lot of work that's gone into having this perspective. And it's, to me, it's beautiful seeing that there is a protocol like this that I really don't think people been giving props to the other show, that people really go beneath the surface and understand what it is, because we're measuring everything from this system that is extracted from us, that has been put in place, that has been here for well over 300 years. It didn't just start with the Federal Reserve, that, like we talk about. It didn't just start when we depegged gold in 1971 from the World Reserve currency. This has been in play for a really, really long time, and it's probably going to take a little while to get out of it. But this is what's been in play. And I'm telling you, I wish everybody could experience what it's like to have everything that you think you want in terms of material things and stuff like that. That it's nice. I'm not going to tell you it's not nice, but where life really happens is in these experiences, is in these relationships. Like, that's the real currency. I get so much from the voice notes that I get from Bishop, right? And sometimes he takes me on a roller coaster, and I'm sure I take him on one. But, like, I'll take that shit all day. I'll take that shit all day because we're building a relationship here, building a friendship. You know, for me, guys, full disclosure, prior to finding Kaspa, I went through this phase where it's like, okay, I'm hanging out with pretty well-known people here in Miami. I'm having a good time. Like, a lot of them know me, and I'm talking athletes. Like, I'm hanging out with some pretty cool rooms. And I was like, this isn't it. This isn't it for me. And I literally cut ties from all of that. And it's hard to do that. It was really hard and lonely for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, I know that it was because, call it whatever it is, the universe, God, whatever it is, had a better plan than my plan. So that's where I am, right? That's where I am. And, you know, I speak to that because, again, we're still, you know, Bishop has said it, we're so early to this. These conversations, we're going to look back on it and be like, damn, remember talking about that, and look at how it's playing out. But this isn't just about number go up. And that needs to stay as one of the core things that we see as a community. This is about building on a truth layer that is going to has potential to sequence the world in truth, and we can build on top of that. We can connect with each other, and that's where the power is. The power is in the people. The power is in sites like what Seb's doing with CastMap, and connecting one another, and having these spaces, and retweeting it, and sharing that fucking energy. Everything in life is energy. Everything. You want to get to where you want to get to. Where's your energy? Check your energy.
You got to work.
Energy. You got to put in the work, bro.
Yep.
There's no. You try to take shortcuts. You will come and have to face those shortcuts. And trust me, I've had to as well. Part of the reason was, like, I took some shortcuts and had to do some shit I didn't want to do, and I had to go face all that. You know, so.
Well, to speak to that one, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're good.
But this is just so cool. Okay, so I want you to think about back in the day, right? It's like, okay, we have this form of money, let's say silver, or we have gold, or we have copper, right? It's like, okay, so I got to work to go get it. I have it. It's a form of value. I can trade it for other goods, but I can also build something with it. We can't build shit with fucking paper. Like we really can't. You know what I mean? Like with money. Like we have something that we can build with, but it is also, I mean, that's the utility factor, right?
100%, bro.
So
That is
so
the truth.
so we have this, and we have this community, we have this ecosystem, we have these builders that are building real things that I use daily,
Mhm.
right? We use
Mhm.
daily in this technological world, and without Kaspa, without this protocol, I wouldn't even be thinking about it, right? Like it has opened up so many doors for me. And the fact that like look at Kara, which I just think I'm so proud of her. Like it's so awesome. She's coding now and she's building things, which is just so wild because like
Yeah.
I don't know, 6 months, a year ago, she would not be doing would not even thought of this. So it's such a cool thing to have this community, but we're also building the community. And I don't mean like, oh, we're just getting more people and pulling more people in. No, the people that are here are starting to become builders. And like
Yes.
it's so awesome. And it just makes me happy. And when you're talking about this whole thing of like 10 years down the road, blah blah, I'm gonna with my Kaspa, I'm going to use Kaspa. Uh, Hopefully, when I do use it, I'll be able to just use that, not have to turn it into anything else. But you know, for different things, for different securities, like you know, property, or if I want to get a house or something, you know, whatever,
For
right?
real things, which you
Yeah,
should.
but
I mean,
I am never not gonna have Kaspa.
Right.
That's just
how I
not
feel too.
I'm
Mhm.
never not gonna have it. So
Mhm.
like we put that $10 a day in, whatever, like it doesn't matter, you know, just put it in, goes up, goes down, whatever. It's so undervalued right now, and that's great, but it's also giving us time to build this community and to, I mean, before all of this gets like seriously takes off, you guys, I mean, I don't even think we comprehend how big this is going to be. Like we're going to know each other when we had, in comparison, when we had nothing, right? And I'm not just talking about monetarily, I'm also talking about maybe relationships and community and things like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
not to, I'll get off my soapbox, but it just makes me happy. So I'm just happy that we're here. And you know, we have a group of people where we look out for each other, and that can only translate better when we are physically in each other's energy space.
1,000%.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, and
Sorry, man.
shouts to Casme. He's back in the chat here in the spaces. But to your point, Buffalo, one of the biggest reasons I did the $10 a day thing because I'm cheap, right? I kept putting in I kept putting in chunks of money and I had to pay a fee, and these fees didn't make sense compared to how much the Kraken premium was. So I do the Kraken premium to do $10 a day, and it instantly clicked to me that energy exchange that happens. You know, Juan talked about it. I didn't quite understand it until I did it. And then I started to go on cashmart.org and buy some shit. And then I've talked about it a million times. I want to be cyclical, right? If I spend it, I want to get it back. So I buy a miner. I buy another miner. I buy a Wii. And of all the transactions that I made on cashmart.org, casme.online/marketplace as well, I've through my $10 energy exchange with Kraken, I've gotten all that Kaspa back in the blink of an eye without even thinking. So any cash I lost to have material items, I then gained back, and it wasn't even necessarily through proof of my own work, but proof of understanding, right? Staying within my own sovereign means of how I want to use my um, um, my wealth, if you will. So yeah, man, like it's finding these ways to stay within the Caspa community, because I've had that fear from the very beginning. It's one of the first things I talked to Juan about. I'm like, yeah, but if I send Cas, how do I get it back? If I send Cas, how do I get it back? And I want to do it through the show, right? That's why we call it energy exchange donations, not tips. We're giving you guys energy 3 hours every Monday. LTCast.cast, live on the Kaspa Center.cast. If you feel, it's also not a requirement. You know, we got an announcement in about 5-10 minutes here. Of a sponsorship we finally have for the show. I was hoping that maybe the owner of the company could come on, but he's a very busy man. But anyway, like, we're doing this for these relationships, and those relationships do count as proof of work as well, because it's not just me and Juan sitting here and talking. It's you guys sitting there and listening too. That's energy as well. So it might not materialize in cash, but I mean, this putting in the work, man, it's definitely worth it. You know, we hear nothing but great things from you guys all the time, and it just makes me feel so good, man. I love doing this show.
Dude, I love seeing how when you would talk about the need it to be cyclical, you know, and again, you would talk about, well, you're at a level 10. We haven't mentioned that in a couple
Yeah.
because you know why? Because I think you're right there. We're not. You're right there with me, bro. And I've said this to you, right? So it's like it's so cool to see where you were and then how you're incorporating some of these things and literally living the way what this technology is meant to do for people. When you look at the way most people talk about all the other protocols, it's the charts, the price. Oh, we're in a bear market, we're this and that. That none of that fucking matters when you're actually giving your energy, your time, and then you're making it, like you say, cyclical for yourself. So that's super cool to see how you went from exchanging the $10 in fiat and then feeling what it's like to get the 200 to 300 Kaspa, and then seeing what it happens in that other system when they gift us with being able to get more Kaspa, and all I have to do is give you the $10. Like, that's how it feels for me on a daily basis. That's literally how you start to separate. That's why I'm not a fan of. I don't get why people say. I do get why they say it. It's because in the fiat system you have to be like, this isn't financial advice. Well, for me, it's like we're not. This isn't about finance. This isn't about just an investment for me. This is literally about opting into a different lifestyle, a different energy that you can exist in today. You can do this today on Kaspa, right? When you do not attach yourself to that number, okay, be smart about it. We still have to operate in this fiat system. It's not gone. You're going to have to convert some of that to fiat in order to pay your bills. So I'm not a fan of hearing people say, like, get what you can, get, ape in or get as much as you can, or just coming into it for money. Because if you do that, this protocol is going to bring you to your knees, man. You know, I would say a little piece of me was like, oh, I have all this money. Let me throw 80% of the money that I have into it. Cool. I got to chill for 2.5 years. Now I can't, it's not about chilling. I have to create and build stuff. Now I've done that in my life. I don't come at that from an energy of like, oh shit, you know, I'm not in that energy. But I do think putting in whatever you can to at least feel what this is about. It's really cool to see your process, Bishop, and I think you're a great example of how most people should approach this. It's like, no, don't put in all the money that you need to pay your bills for the next 6 months. That's not what this shit is about, right? And that's unfortunately what you hear a lot of. You hear a lot of those stories within crypto. It's like, no. Grab one Kaspa. Okay, learn about it. What do you know about it? How do you relate to it? What do you think? Okay, and then going down your own little journey there. And I find myself in my life, like all my friends, like we talk about. I see there's kind of what I'm experiencing. You know, getting to know you here. I see that this is what's happening with my son's my son's godmother, my foster mom as well. Like, she got some Kaspa and then sold it, and now she's like, oh, I got some more, and she's still kind of looking at it as an investment. But it's super cool to see that happening around my family. You know, I had another really great conversation with my little brother yesterday about him being like, "Oh, I finally get what you're saying about how it's, you know, not an investment and it's about preserving my energy in it." He's like, "That didn't really make sense to me." Probably doesn't make sense to a bunch of people when they hear it initially. It's like, what the fuck is Juan saying, you know, with that shit? But you know, this stuff takes time. It takes time. We're in the fourth turning. These technologies had to emerge to get us out of what hasn't worked for such a long time and has literally debased the energy of the working class people. Like these people that have sat back on their asses and just like collected yield and gotten rich that way, they're in for some shit, man. They're in for some shit over the next 50, 80 years, over the first turning. Because people like us that are putting in work now, we're the ones that are gonna reap the rewards, man, and really get to experience life on a whole new level.
Absolutely. And again, that's what makes me excited to do this show every Monday, and excited to hear new things. Like you know, Michael Sutton announced today. I put it in the chat. I don't know how to do the billboard thing or whatever you guys call it,
Do it.
John. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. But Michael Sutton announced today that testnet 12 is back active again. I don't know what that means, but it's something I heard Rory talk about. So that means developers can get on there and fuck around and you know, do their thing. So the expansion of what Kaspa is going to be, yeah, man, like as we come on here and we tell people how and I love that little adjustment we made to tell people how we live on the Kaspa standard for this particular week. This is what we've done, because that also helps anchor in what's Kaspa capable of today. You know, if I had more Kaspa and more fiat to buy more Kaspa, I'd buy more shit on Kasme. You know, on Kasmart. I just don't. You know, I got to sell some shit, and then maybe I will. But yeah, it's
So sorry to interrupt, Bishop. I'm chatting with Gonzo right now. I can't speak to the validity of this because I don't have all the information. But Gonzo. I'm talking to Gonzo. He's playing around with the hacker that's sending from Kara. He's just having fun. But so what he's saying is, I don't know how they would get this, but what they're doing is they're hacking the data. So seeds from your hot wallet, they're getting seeds from hot wallets, and they're getting X login details. So he suggests put on your two-factor authentication if you guys need to.
all right, cool. Thank you.
If you've clicked this link, they're going to go through all your shit. Is basically what he's saying.
Yeah,
So,
I've never clicked a link. I don't fall. I don't even respond to people that I haven't talked to at some point.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just
Before.
putting it out there for the community. So if you have clicked the link, check your hot wallets. That's all.
Yeah, 100%. Good point.
I think here the issue is that you can get a link from Kara, for instance, or at least it looks like it's like from Kara. So I think that's the nasty part of this hack, that somebody gains control and then goes to DM the people who you have a trust relation with, like as if I get hacked and I send you a DM with a fake CastMap link, for instance, instead of going to .org, it's going to .io or something that's not mine, and then you go there, want to log in, and because they made a copy, and everything, they just start to hack you, so stuff like that, or it installs something on your device.
So you would have to, is the only way for them to get to things is clicking a link?
Yeah.
Opening.
Yeah.
Like
So they'll send the StreamYards, and then it won't, if you look at the link, not that you really need to, but if you look at the link, it'll be like, you know, yard stream, you know, dash XYB FTF, you know, bullshit.
Yeah, or instead of yard stream, it's yard streams, something like that. So it's or yards stream. So they just take a link that looks like the real thing. And yeah, that's nasty.
And I think Kara mentioned that on Beneath the Surface last week, that she clicked on the link and found
she
out
did,
that it was a fake.
And because she had like an appointment set up or whatnot.
So that's what it does. As soon as you click the link, that's how it takes your data. Son of a bitch, man. I hate bad people. I mean, I've been.
That's why we need K-Social, Casilla messaging, all this shit, right? Like that helps with all this crap. The way
have we gotten the Cassia iOS yet, or no?
It's in beta. So I talked to Victor about this Kaspa Silver. I was invited to test that out, but from what he talks about, man, it's really, really sweet and sleek. I haven't been able to play around with it yet. So it's in beta right now.
Bro, that's I'm stoked. I haven't tried it at all. I'm like, oh, I'll just wait till it, because when I'd heard about it, I was like, oh, it's coming out for Google and for Apple. So I was gonna wait, but I guess, I mean, I could do it via my computer. I'm just always kind of on the run. So I guess if it's on, you said it's on beta, so can we access it via iOS? I haven't even checked.
They're testing it out with a handful of people, and then
Okay.
I can tell you details in terms of when it's going to be released.
Yeah,
It
no
sounds
worries.
Like, it sounds like they're testing out a few things, probably working out the bugs, and then it'll be released.
Bro, I'm gonna
once
use
everything's
that. I'm gonna use that all the time. All the time.
I
I'm stoked.
opened the space and talked about on Casanova, because like I've had Cassia messaging, and everybody knows my if you want to have a conversation or chat with me on Cassia, totally support it. It's juan.cast. That's my address. But anyways, yeah, man, on Casanova, the design of it, and like you don't get a notification, but you can see in the chat that you have a message from there, and it's gonna be cool, because I think it's what they're rolling out is group chats and notifications, right? So that'll change the game, no doubt.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sweet. And if this kind of shit continues to happen on Twitter, we'll have to migrate to decentralized communication, especially if they continue to force the hand. I mean, look, we started on just Vivor, right? And we wanted to have people meet us where we're at. And then we came on here, and I love how the show's set up, man. Like it really makes me happy to see how all this stuff is connected.
Props to you, bro.
Oh,
Look at you.
Get it together. Hold on, I think my son's locked up. Let me get something out real quick.
What happened there? Did he not like my boasting and bragging about him? Did you catch what he said? I think he said something about it.
My son was locked out the house. He didn't know.
Oh, okay. I'm like, is everything okay? And like, I'm sorry, did I clap too hard? And you had to,
No.
no, because I swear I didn't do it that hard.
Bring it. Come on. Give me.
Give props to Bishop. You're the one setting all this. I just show up. I just show up with.
I've been
some energy.
I've been doing the podcast stuff for 5.5 years, and I never did video well on my show because I never had the right equipment, right? But I had a buddy who always did streaming for his show. Shouts to Ref Mars, Wrestling on the Rocks. He put the dive bar to sleep. That's just all insider stuff, no big deal. But he's the one who helped me with the StreamYard stuff and really explain how to navigate it properly. It's kind of intuitive, but again, we're not tech people. But the more that I mess with it, I figure it out. So yeah, man, going from Vivor to Twitter to YouTube and having the show set up the way we are, again, we're live on YouTube. We're live on Vivor. We're also live on X at Live on the Kaspa S. So please follow all the accounts, like it says at the bottom of the visuals, like, subscribe, follow, share, all that shit that everyone else does. Retweet the spaces. Every time you guys come in the space too, can you retweet the space? We're competing with people all the time on spaces, so we got to continue to get our stuff out there. Casmi is the one that keeps telling me that I need to say retweet the space. So shouts to him.
We got to listen to him. He's like, Casmi knows what he's doing, bro.
For sure.
Retweet the space. Do it.
And we should be requesting guys to retweet the space also, but we just get caught in these conversations because it's beautiful, man. But no,
Yeah.
for the kind words and getting the video set up. I reached out to the resources that I have. The proof of work of my relationships, is why I'm in this space. We met, Juan, me and you, we met a couple times on spaces, and in a DM, you go, I think I kind of want to do a show with you. And I'm like, dude, I don't host people. I'm not a good number one mic. I'm making up all these excuses to not do it. And it turns out, like I told you in a voice note yesterday, like we go live for 3 hours and we're basically talking for an hour and a half each. Like we figured out.
And talk about the energy that we have after this.
Oh,
it's not like
we go for another 20 minutes or so immediately, and then what? Like another, I don't know, hours worth of voice notes the rest of the day about the amp and our frequency is just so solidified as we're growing through the day. Like it just amplifies. it amplifies. It continues to,
Yeah, man.
and then we end up sparking, like you had mentioned, that we're tinkering with an idea of me and you doing something that's built from that frequency.
It is, yeah.
And how we kind of fit each other's mental spaces within this frequency. So yeah, man, it's been amazing. So as you say, you get as much from me as I get from you. Like, it really is true.
Yeah, I try to bring so the thing I know about me is like I'm really good in real life, like in person. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle doing this on X because I'm like it feels I would feel everything, every little comment, every mean thing said in the beginning really affected me. So it took me just obviously facing that and being like, okay, you're being a little B about all this stuff. Um, and then go into the in-person event. So for me, it's like when I met Seb and I talked about this. It's like you just get a different energy when you're around people in Kaspa and talking about what's going on within the community. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're just so obviously you guys, it's not just me, Bishop, like anybody that listens to you and hears how you talk about things and how you come at things. You're passionate, right? And like you're to the point and talking about perspective and operating in truth. So that's all we're trying to bring here. And it's the beginning of the week. People talk about Mondays. Nah, Mondays live on the Casper Standard. Let's go. And energies, everything is energy. So everything's a transfer of energy. And that's all we're trying to bring here. It's like, can we bring that and talk about real shit that doesn't always, we brought up a couple things here with the episode. It's not about it being like, oh, let's only be positive. That's a different type of mindset. It's not, oh, just be positive. Let's talk about real stuff and then get through it and then keep it moving. That moves energy in the right direction as well. Okay. So we don't get that. Like if you really take a look at what a lot of, thinking not to talk shit or shit on anybody, but there's too much of this, just saying what needs to be said to not ruffle feathers or to play to a certain narrative. And that shit's getting played out.
You know what? Fuck those guys. Fuck those guys. So Fred Krueger this week, right? He went out on a space and said, the world's melting, right? And then the next day he has a space called V-shaped recovery, right? Like, shut the fuck up. Like these assets move in a way that nobody can explain because crypto's so young, nobody knows what to do with it. People are investing trying to make money, and also people are investing to try to like have perspective, like asset perspective. Let me invest in this and see where it goes based on my investment.
Well, and bro, a majority of the people are listening to him, and this is someone who has made money in the fiat-based system,
right?
And he's everything that they talk about. Like again, but being just direct and real. Okay, I haven't gotten as rich as them, but I've tasted what it's like to make money in that system, and I don't give a fuck what I let all these people go in my life because I wanted to operate. I'm just like, I'm only going to live as one time, and I'm going to be real about all of this right now. So
if you're able to see on spaces, right, you can see the dip that goes up, and that's the V-shaped recovery. Since then,
okay, yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah, it's a kind of.
But again, even measuring Bitcoin from that, like they don't understand it. They don't understand it on the level that it's just, again, that's where most people go, because the first thing that you get when you come into the space or you're looking at these assets is the price of it, and then they stay there. So they're staying on the surface with it, and then that's all they talk about. Then they measure it and they look at it from the financial aspects of it, right? And this is something completely different.
Yeah.
This is where, to me, Bitcoin missed the boat. But early Bitcoiners are moving over to this because, oh shit, over here, this is what it was about. Proof of work, actually, using this on a peer-to-peer without a third party, like it says in the fucking white paper. So they can sit there and talk about the prices and shit and that going up and down. That's not what this shit is about. And that's what we're trying to move away from and at least educate people. As of now, right, they're the ones that get the people showing up to their spaces because people know who they are. But bro, it's only a matter of time. Wait until the prices skyrocket on this. They're gonna be like, oh, these guys have been talking about this for years. Like, it's what's gonna happen. Kruger jumped into that at once Bitcoin went up in price. He's not a Bitcoiner, bro.
No.
So,
Kruger's a dumb bitch. I really don't like that guy. I try to keep nice words,
tell
but
us how you really feel, Buffalo. Tell
bro,
us how
he
you really
is
feel.
such a dumb fucking cunt. Like, he is such a dumb cunt. Like, he bothers me so much. I was on that podcast when he was like, when he was trying to fight with Kaspa. I think it was me and it was Onion. And I remember going on there back, I don't know, months and months and months ago. And he's like going off about how it's a scam and we, we don't need this shit coin and blah blah, and he's just shitting on it, right? And there is like at least 6 or 7 or 8 or if not more Caspians in there, and he muted everybody except him and like a couple of his buddies, but we're requesting to talk, and then he blocked us because I'm like, dude, everything that you're saying is wrong and I can prove it to you because I have receipts, and I'm trying to do this. We got like, I don't know if it was Gonzo or somebody got up and like started talking, and he got muted and fucking kicked, like blocked completely. And I'm like,
Listening to that.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, so you're a tyrannical son of a bitch, aren't you? Okay, so this is willful ignorance, right? This is willful ignorance, and you're so afraid. You live in this little fear bubble that what you hold is the only thing. And if you really believed that, this would not be a threat.
Right.
This would not be a threat to you in any way. Anyway, he's just a dumb bitch. I don't like him.
Yeah, no, to me, all that just shows the true colors of what again, Bitcoin, to me, Bitcoin at the base layer isn't that, and everything that they're talking about on top of that, and what people like him, what all these finance bros that have come into Bitcoin since the 2020, and since they started talking about like, oh, okay, maybe it is a peer-to-peer thing, maybe, specifically quoting, Mr. Saylor. Oh, the dollar is great. The dollar, we're still gonna. That's not his exact words, but basically his message is like, we're still gonna use that. To think that we're not gonna. No, that's been the issue. That's been the problem. We can fight the system with honesty, with truth, right? I pay taxes. I do. I don't break the law, but I'm gonna speak truth, right? So I do think coming at it from an angle of I understand that game. I'm gonna speak truth on that game, bro. I mastered that game over there. I still have to play it because I'm forced to, right? But there's also this other thing that exists, and you cannot tell me that it doesn't. So I wish I would have gotten on those spaces, bro, because I've listened back to some of these conversations and put me in a room with Kruger in person.
Right?
Who are you gonna fucking believe, bro?
And
We're probably the same. We're
buckle.
probably the same age. He's probably only 44 years old. And look at him.
Oh no,
Says
he's
a lot.
definitely close to 60 for sure.
He looks like he's 95 and about to go.
Yeah, no, Kruger's just he doesn't know. I think he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand crypto at all. He doesn't.
No, because
this is all like
he comes from a financial, again, looking at the dollar signs and the number go up. He's one of those guys.
Oh, 100%. He has no idea. He doesn't understand the technology at all. And and when you're sitting in there with him and what they talk about, dude, is so surface level. It is so just vapid. I feel like I'm hanging out with a bunch of like, I don't know, Valley girls from the 80s that are like
God,
20. Like that's what it feels like.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Like it's so vapid. I'm like, dude, this is like, I don't get to live that long in this life. Why the fuck would I spend time listening to this dribble?
Yeah. No, I would
Yeah.
love for there to be some live on the Bitcoin standard where you feel like day-to-day you get positive affirmations that this thing is gonna help move the world forward. But really what you get is just insecurities over top of bad tech, and you don't really hear the confidence of what it can do. They're just trying to hold on to what it's done for them already, and we just don't do that here. That's why it's so hard to listen to those shits, and their audience is so huge, right? Like, this isn't out of jealousy, right? I love our show. We've had very highly viewed shows. We had very low viewed shows. But what we have is truth and conversation. And the second Kaspa fucks up, who are going to be the first two people you guys are going to trust to come talk to about Kaspa fucking up, right? We're going to be here talking about how the Kaspa standard has now shifted in a way where we got to start thinking a little bit different.
Oh, yeah, we will speak on its truth. Man.
1,000%.
Always.
1,000%.
Kaspa is an idea to again, it's a noun to an idea. Yeah.
It'll never be chart-based, though. It will never be chart-based. The only time we did a chart-based show was this last Thursday when everyone got fucked at the same time, and we just came on and we called it Fud Crusher because all this stuff is stupid. They're talking about it in a way. No, it's called exit liquidity, right? A bunch of people cashed out because they were like, oh, fuck. Okay, guess who didn't cash out? All of us on this call. I don't think anybody, there's 12 icons right here. I don't think any of the 12 sold, right? Like in the last week, has anybody sold? And if you have, was it more than fucking a handful of bucks to maneuver into something else? No, I spent Kaspa. I had to buy a wheat, you know, I had to buy a miner, you know, like, and then I bought it back. But like, yeah, man, it's laughable what they do.
Well, yeah,
I bought
it's
some
important that we
Kaspa.
talk on this shit. You bought some Kaspa? Yeah, exactly. That's what we've done every day. Bishop has joined my little $10 buy every single day. Are you doing it manually or automatically?
It's automatic, and I get the push notification. So I get two. I get an email that says I did it, and I get a push notification that actually has the transition amount too. So while I do understand your button pushing, when I open up my phone,
it's just my preference. That's it.
Yeah, no, I hit the down, right, and then it just, my notification comes right here. I stare at it and I go, hell yeah, you know. And if it's anything over 300, I'm like, oh, awesome, that's a lot of cash. And then if it's anything under 3, I go, damn, cash moved up. So like that's kind of my window right now, is that 300 cash range that makes me feel like, you know, where I'm kind of determining what I'm looking at. How much am I getting, or how high is Kaspa at the moment, you know? And it's not like we yay, cheer it on, it went up. It's a good thing to know that it's not just giving me a shit ton of cash every day. You know, I want it to give me a little bit less. And it's been fun, man. It's been fun. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't track for obviously for the nominal reasons I've explained why, but I will say that I do this because I do use Coin Market Cap. On Coin Market Cap, you can see, you know, that's where I saw the gold price and all that. But I manually, like, I literally buy it and then I look at what I bought and what it transfers to, and every transaction that I've ever done buying Kaspa, Bitcoin, everything is on my Coin Market Cap. And also, I manage my entire family's like assets, right? So I do that whenever I buy some to manually put it in. So I don't connect the wallets. But that's another reason why I like doing it manually, because I like moving it over, like doing that right away. I do it on my phone. But
awesome.
Yeah, man, which it doesn't matter. The bottom line is we have more Kaspa today than we did yesterday.
And I just want to speak to this. If you do use the Kraken app, if you have put even $1 into Kraken, if you've bought like Kaspa even $1 this month, they're doing like spin to win prizes for 30 days. And this is like, I don't, it's just me. I'm sure they're only doing it for the month, but I love it. So I'll go in, and you know, just $1, one purchase for anything in Kraken, and they have a little spin to win, and I get to do a little spin to win every day. And in the last like few days, between like Ethereum, Doge, and Bitcoin, I've gotten like $7 extra that I can turn into Kaspa.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my favorite part about signing up for it. And then my last ape in, I ended up with a 30-day one. They didn't give me anything for this month because I think my 30-day was an overlap into this one. But yeah, I love it because I did the same thing. The first time I had the 30-day though, I was doing it daily, and I should have waited till the end of the month because I ended up with not enough Bitcoin to be able to actually transfer it to Kaspa. So my advice is, if you do have the 30-day spin to win, let it all build towards the end of the month, even if you got to take a little bit of a loss, because it's that token amount that it takes to be able to transfer. If you have point whatever Bitcoin, you need enough of that to actually exchange it, which is hysterical to me. But
shall I
them fees?
Yeah.
Shall I tell something funny or nice?
Bring it.
I just deployed the block deck viewer on casmap.org.
Oh,
So-
snap.
Yeah, it's like I've been working on it during this podcast. and it just deployed. So if you are going to the activities page, and then you have map visualizations.
Ooh, I see it.
There's the block deck viewer. So I'm also working on the transaction globe that will be going live soon. But I'm not sure if I'm making that today. It's already there, but yeah. So you can play around with the block deck viewer, and if you have put in your wallet address, save it in your account in your profile, and you make a transaction to or from your wallet, it will show up in the viewer. And the fun thing is that this is really something different than if you are doing a transaction in, for instance, the Bitcoin, because there you can wait 10 minutes to see or longer what's being added to a single block. But yeah, well, let's keep a little bit ready for a surprise. So yeah, you will see that it's really different here.
That's yeah, it's super cool. I'm looking at it. Right. I mean, and to comment to what Bishop said about like you don't see a live on the Bitcoin, because it would have to be 10 minutes on the Bitcoin standard. It can't be live. It can't be instant. It would have to be 10 minutes. So just to defend Bitcoin and make sure you're straight. Okay.
This is something you should really look at the big screen. That's much better than on the mobile phone. But you see you can really see the speed. Of course, you can make a viewer in many different ways, but I made it in a way that it also shows the speed because it's polling. It's getting the data every 100 milliseconds. I can speed it up. But this is, how do you say it, good enough. A viewer is never the exact thing that is happening. It's always a representation of what is happening. So keep that in mind. But it's really all through an API. It's or through multiple APIs even, and it's just getting the information and. I think it's 500 milliseconds delay on it to be able to calculate and recalculate. And you can also see, and I don't want to call them little reorgs, but I would call them the ordering and or reordering or the converging at the start of a block deck. And that is that the blocks for the chain are being selected and unselected, depending on which one has had the most blue work in the chain before it. So because the blocks are coming in every 100 milliseconds, you do or you select, or the block deck selects a block at the moment that it's getting the information in real time. But if then another parallel block comes in, it might be that that's the heavier chain. So then it unselects the one it's previously selected, and it selects the other one that has that should get it. And that's a process. Yeah, I really like to watch that process. So that's and they are mostly blue blocks. You can see maybe also a red block if you are looking at it, but that's an less connected one. Yeah, you can play around and click on it and yeah, have fun.
I am.
Yeah, this looks cool.
Play around with this. Premium right now. Use promo code 1.
Oh yes, that's nice because it's also for the that's for the points. It's like Reddit, you know. I stay away from trying to have people monetize it and stuff like that because I think that's the wrong incentive. This should be done because you like it, and not because you earn $1 or so from it. I think that's the wrong incentive. So, but the points do help because it helps your visibility. With all the community or movement actions that you are taking, everything gives you points, and the points in all the sorting on all the different pages, it makes you be higher ranked up, thus better visible. And it helps with the trust within the community, not only now, but for sure when we are in the next bull run and all new people come in, then it does give you credibility if you have a lot of points. Kind of the same with Reddit.
Love it, man. Love what you're doing. Yeah, this looks cool. So you haven't seen Bishop's the one that has the control of being able to show it on here. So maybe we'll show it next time.
Right now I don't necessarily know how to share both screens, so I don't want to lose the audio on the spaces. But and
then I can't share it on mine.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out by next episode.
We'll bring it up,
and we'll do live transactions on the show for sure.
That's what we want to do. Yeah, we talked about that. We want to do a transaction, send it. I'll just save it for when we actually do it. So we're gonna be about it. And I just talk about it.
Yeah, last 2 episodes, I started the video with the Vivor transaction to show that we are on Vivor, we are transacting on Kaspa. And then the idea was to send some energy back and forth. Okay, yeah, and I gotta change that. Anyway, yeah, we can definitely keep supporting this because this is awesome, and that's gonna look great. Speaking of though, Seb, what happened to that Thursday thing you were gonna do?
Yeah, coming Thursday will be there. Last Thursday I tried, but I forgot that I had a meeting planned on Thursday evening. Plus my daughter was ill, so but my meeting itself went up to 10 p.m. I volunteer at the school of my daughter, and we are having a bi-monthly meetup to discuss the policy with the school director. And it happened to be last Thursday, and as always in the evening. But I forgot that. So, but I was totally tired afterwards, and I thought, okay, if I should start at 11 p.m. or something like that, no, that will be a lot way too late. But coming Thursday, yes, I will put out a notice. I think tomorrow.
And I see Seb here looking at the stats because I remember last week it was like at 650. So I see there's 683 users.
There you go.
Once Bishop is on there, well, no, Bishop's already on there.
Yeah.
21 merchants, and then there was a tweet just to go. I did a little challenge to the community because once this is ready, I know that you and I are talking about reaching out to some of these merchants and doing stuff. And I did say that I was gonna. There's 2 of them near me that I need to go knock on their doors and be like, why do you accept? So do you think you accept Bitcoin? I don't know what my approach is gonna be. I'm just gonna be real with them, and then by the end of it, they should be on Cast Maps. But
Great.
Bitcoiner put out a tweet and showed that there was 5,355 merchants in their Bitcoin thing. To me, that number seemed over 17 years. And most of them have been onboarded in the last couple of years. So, man, when all 5,355 of them find out about Kaspa, the numbers are going to accelerate here. It's going to be easy.
Now I had a question for Seb. Actually, I have mine set up, but is the map itself does it auto put you somewhere else, or does it show you the city that you're in, or is there? I remember you speaking last time. It was about there is some anonymity about where you actually are located.
Yeah, well, I didn't want people to put in their home address due to security issues. And also I myself, I'm a privacy advocate. I think people have to decide themselves what they want to share or not in that way. But I thought it would be bad practice to let people fill out their home address. For merchants, of course, they need to fill out their exact address, otherwise you cannot visit them. But the private address, I think it would be wise to prevent people from having the option to do that. So what happens? You can, when you are entering your location, you can do that easily by just accepting your browser to find your location. That's something that is happening in your browser, and it will give you the city, the municipality that you are in, and that's also the only thing that you can register in the database. There is only for users. There's only a column to save the. Well, it saves the country, your state or province or oblast or whatever your country is calling it, that it saves, and your city, but not anything else there. So that it is impossible to give more information than your city. Only thing is, if you are living in a small village, like 100 people, then you might want to say, okay, I put myself in a nearby bigger city.
Is there a way to change that? Is there a way to change that after you've made it? Because I put my city in it. I mean, it's showing my city, but yeah, I'd like to put it in like a bigger metropolitan area that's close. How do I change that?
Okay, then you can go to My Kaspa.
Okay.
And then in the top, you will see 3 buttons: profile, settings, and skills. And if you do click on the profile,
okay,
and then you scroll down, you see somewhere location, and then you can update it manually if you want.
You can do it manually. Okay, great.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, but also if you are making a profile, you can also put it in manually. So it's you can always let the browser detect your city or update your city manually.
Perfect. I just did it. That was really simple. Thank you, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was that fast. Cool. That's the UI, the layout, dude. The layout's so simple. It's really easy. I mean, it's
and if there are things that are not simple, because there are a lot of options, and I had to make design choices. Like if you do My Kaspa, it shows some practical information for with quick links of stuff that most of the time people use more often. And your profile is normally spoken rather static in a page like this, same as your settings and your skills. Oh, by the way, now we're talking about that. In your settings, you can also see your status, if it is a free or a premium account. You can see your payment history. You can also see if you have a referral code applied. By the way, even by just applying a referral code, you also get points. And then below that, then there is there are privacy settings. Also, it should be all opt-in. Also to show your if you want others also to see transactions if they are going to your wallet or not. And it's a nice effect if we are like with maybe we can do that one time also here, one Bishop. If we have like 10 people who are all willing to let their public wallet be shown, and we just send some transactions to each other, then we see all those transactions at the same time in the block deck and or on the globe. And so
that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
we're down for that.
Try to figure out how to coordinate that. Awesome. Yeah, I'm messing around with castmap.org right now. I changed my personal wallet on CastMap. It doesn't change where it goes, but on CastMap. So anything sent to lotks.cas will be a block DEG transaction to my particular. So Juan, if you wanted to send just one cast to it, we'd be able to see it go from Miami to Delaware. That'd be pretty damn cool.
Yeah,
I can't show it. No, we'll do it after the show, and
we'll do it. We'll do it. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll show
figure
it
it
next
out.
week or
Yeah,
whatnot.
we'll take the week and we can start it that way. I could also try to figure out how to share both of these screens, and I just want to make sure we continue to get the Spaces audio, because every guest that we've had up today that's lent to this episode is so valuable. I wouldn't want to take away that audio from what we're doing. So
For sure.
yeah. So look, I'll take over real quick. We're 3:09. Lavendi's in here just to kick us off because he's going live at 4. So I think we should start winding it down. I was hoping that we would get a special guest, but he's incredibly very incredibly busy man. So we didn't. So Juan, shall I go into the announcement we have?
Do it.
All right. So as the community knows, we have a very, very special person in this community who has stepped away, in and out. He's needling in and out, but he's very important to who we are as a community. And that guy's name is Neo. Neo has created a phenomenal product called Better Melts. And if you guys haven't tried them, I suggest you do. And when you do, I suggest you go to getbettermelts.com and use the promo code LOTKS. Yes, that is right. Getbettermelts.com, promo code LOTKS, and you get 50% off. No matter the size of the order, you get 50% off. He has Dream Melts, which help you sleep, Glow Melts, which are good for your skin, hair, and nails, and Focus Melts, which are good for your attention. I specifically use the Dream Melts more than anything. I'm already beautiful, so the Glow Melts aren't going to help that much. I sat here with a pot of coffee, so the Focus Melts, I don't know if I can trust it just yet. But as someone who doesn't necessarily have trouble sleeping, what I do have trouble with is turning off. And that's what the Better Melts do for me. The Dream Melts is they help me turn off before bed. So I actually give myself like a 45-minute window. And then that relaxation that I have before I do go to bed, it does put me in a space where when I go down, I go down. Now, I actually did an audio unboxing. So if you go to TBA Takes Podcast on any platform, there's an episode called Audio Unboxing for Better Melts. And I went through the whole thing. It's like 45 minutes of just me talking about the product. I'm a big fan. But the melts come in a foil package, and inside there's a rectangle. If you haven't tried them before, this is my advice. Okay. I cut these into 4. They come in a box of 30. I actually cut them into 4 because a quarter of it is all I need. And the last thing I want to do is start with a whole one and build the tolerance to where I can't fall asleep without a whole one. So I cut them because they come in a rectangle. I cut them corner to corner and then corner to corner again. And I use a fourth of it, and it works so great. You put it on your tongue. It takes a little bit to dissolve, but it dissolves. Give yourself about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes before you drink any water to flush it down. That's just my personal opinion of how to use it. But yeah, so go to getbettermelts.com, use promo code LOTKS, and you'll get 50% off any order. If anybody in here who has tried them before can vouch for it, just leave comments on the show. Or request to speak next episode and tell us your journey on it. But Neo is such a great dude. He had some trouble, towards the end of 2025. He was very vocal about that, so no need for me to tell his story. But he's a good dude, and I told him the second I get up and running, and this was just with the wrestling stuff, the second I get up and running, would you be cool as being a sponsor? And he's like, yeah, anything you need, anything you need. What do you mean anything I need? You're the one that's going through this shit. What can I do for you? I want to help promote you, And so Neo's the man. He's very selfless. I know a lot of you guys have met him either through on Twitter or in person. And I couldn't have been happier to beat him down for 4 fucking weeks to get this promo code live. Okay. It's been that long, but I'm glad he did it. He's been more than generous to me and this audience. So go to getbettermelts.com, use promo code LOTKS for 50% off any size order, and help support a fellow Caspian who is just as passionate about this community as the rest of us.
Love it, brother. Love it. Yeah, man. This talk about you being cyclical, right? It's helping people within the community and us promoting each other's business ventures. And Neo, miss Neo, man. He was a big part of the spaces that we were running, 4 or 5 months ago. And obviously, like you said, not to rehash what happened to him, but he's working right now. He's putting in proof of work, man. But he's around. He's around, and yeah, Neo's a good dude, man. I have not tried him. He sent me some, but in the middle of my move, I got to figure out where all that. And I get my yoga in, and I fall asleep and all that. But I'm gonna try because he sent me some. He definitely sent me some.
Yeah, and look, not everybody needs assistance. Like I said, I do a quarter of the dream melt because and actually, so like I'm a big drinker and I enjoy drinking, right? And
Bourbon, whiskey.
bourbon, bourbon, whiskey. I like my.
I would do that with you. I'd have
I
one. I'd have a
do.
whiskey.
I do some
Seb too.
tequila. I do homemade margaritas. I make my own sour mix and everything. Like, um, we do eggnog martinis for Christmas season, and that's when I got these. It was like, how can I? And you can speak to this. How can I take a supplement if I'm not optimizing already? Right? Because
Yeah.
take this thing to help me sleep, but it's on a gallon of booze. It's yes, it's going to help me, but I'm not optimizing anyway. So Neo actually hit
Yeah.
me up. He's like, "Did you try them? Did you try them?" I'm like, "Dude, honestly, I'm not treating my body right now, so I couldn't even give you an honest opinion of is this thing working for me, you know." So, but I did tell him, and he was honest. He's like, "Well, what'd you think of the focus mode?" I was like, honestly, I don't know if I just felt more focused because I took it. He goes, "Yeah, me too the first time." He's like, "But I tried it a couple more times and I actually did feel like, an uptick." I was like, "Dude, I drink so much coffee. I don't know if I can go enough days without coffee to where I can say this is what the focus melt did for me." You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
it's a delicate balance to try to like just be as honest as possible. But I know this for fucking sure. I support this person.
Yeah.
I've said
No,
it.
and the sleeping, you mentioned to me like how that
Yeah.
definitely helped you with that. So
Oh yeah, no, it absolutely. The products do work, and the Dream Melt's the only one I can specifically speak on that I've gone through the work to make sure I understood that it was the melt that did the work for me. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I couldn't be happier to support him. I said it. I might have been on Blockchain Banter beneath the surface that he hopped in one night, and I think I said it on there like. Neo reminds me of the time I fell in love with Kaspa because he was part of that. He was the one hosting spaces and he's where I got the truth from. He was doing spaces and having conversations with people, not because he wanted to prove anyone wrong, not because he wanted to prove himself right. He just wanted to know what the truth was. He just wanted to know what the truth was. And I took that and I fucking ran with it. And without him, I don't know if I got there as quick as I did. And
it's beautiful, man.
He's a huge
That's
part
awesome.
of that. So I'll always be grateful for that. He's invited me up the street to New York countless times to go out to dinner. Like, and me, like I'm so wary of everyone's time. I want them to do them and optimize themselves. And at some point, me and him will connect. But I've just met so many beautiful people within Kaspa, and he was one of the first ones. So I couldn't be more grateful and happy that he's allowed us to promo his product. And dude, I go, whatever helps your business, a promo code, whatever helps your business. He goes, no, I'll just give your listeners 50% off. And I'm thinking to myself, the profit margin, like what the fuck, man? This packaging ain't cheap. It's very, sturdy cardboard box
Right.
with dual pressed foil. So it's not like it's wrapped in plastic or paper or anything like that. It's foil sheets. And they're thick as well. Like it's well done. And he's like, "No, man, 50% off. You're listening 50%." I'm like, "Thank you." You didn't have to do that, but god damn it, thank you. Yeah.
And Bishop, I want you to just. This is actually a really great thing. Not to interrupt your thing, but I want people to think about this. Dude is appreciative of you. He's appreciative of having a community, right? But he believes in his product so much. He's going to take a loss on your first buy. That's pretty amazing. That's belief in your product.
For sure. And to be fair, if I had to project for him as well, he just wants people to have it in their hands. I'm sure this happened with Juan when I was like, dude, these things seem so cool. Like, can you tell me more about it? He just goes, what's your address? He didn't say shit. He goes, what's your address? I'm like, for real? He goes, yeah, I'll just send you some. I'm like, oh, he just wants it in people's hands. And I mean, he believes in this thing because it works. And yeah, so I hope you guys go out and try it. Again, promo code LOTKS for 50% off. That's live on the Kaspa Standard, so you can live on the Kaspa Standard with some Get Better modes.
Yeah, man. And Neo's an entrepreneur, man. So the energy, and like you said, anybody that knew him and asked about it, he's like, oh, no. Well, where do I send it? That's what he did with everyone, man. So it's he's a good dude, bro. Happy that he's sponsoring the show and giving that discount. It's great.
Yeah, he's the man. He's the absolute man. So, look, that's all I got for today. What about you, Juan? Anything else?
We're good, man. We're good. We had a great convo today. A lot of great people up. Thank you, Seb. Thanks, Buffalo. Great conversation, man. We went live on the cast. Now we know about the map, so we're gonna start doing a transaction. Gonna show that on the globe. I got to see that last week, and now we're gonna be able to share it. Seb mentioned he's gonna do a Spaces. We got the Spaces coming up. Blockchain banter right after this. Another blockchain banter on Tuesday nights as well on YouTube, and what are beneath the surface on Wednesdays. Yeah, man. These spaces and gatherings of talking real stuff, Kaspa wise and life wise. It's beautiful to see, man.
Yeah, it's my absolute favorite podcasting that I've done. I did wrestling podcasts for 5.5 years.
To prepare you for this,
170 episodes. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I loved it because topically I'm passionate about it. But the energy exchange wasn't this, you know. And
yeah,
and even if I did a wrestling one like this, the crowd would be so toxic because it's so opinion oriented, because it's, well, in wrestling in terms, it's art, right? So like, it's performance arts. And what is art? Art is subjective.
Yeah, it is.
No truth except your subjectivity. So like, you can't have the same type of truth discourse or truth seeking, except for, a pure love of art, which because wrestling is combat performance art. It's combat performance art when you're talking too. So no, I love this show. I love what it turned into. And
we're only 16 episodes in, bro. We're gonna do hundreds, thousands.
Yeah,
I mean, this isn't gonna stop. We're just gonna show up every week, like we did last week. We did an extra one to kill some FUD. Whenever we're called to do this, and again, we're showing up on Mondays at 12 before the blockchain banter, but we're also meeting people where they're at, and life happens. We can just promise that we're going to be consistent with making sure we show you live on the Kaspa Standard, talk about life, relate it to what's going on here. We're two dudes, Delaware, Miami, have this in common, man, and the truth just needs to keep spreading. That's what we're going to bring on a weekly basis.
No, hell yeah. I just wanted to change. Oh, there we go. That looks better. Doesn't it look more beautiful? I had to center that logo. It's really bothering.
It looked beautiful before, bro.
Well, I have a symmetry problem. It's my only tick when it comes to like something I get obsessive about is symmetry. So if I don't see symmetry and it's just off, I get a little nuts about it. So that's for our viewers on YouTube and X. So all right, here we go. Let's run it down. Yeah, want me to do the sign off?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you guys again for speaking. You bring so much to the show. I can't thank you guys enough. It's so helpful to meet everyone where they're at and be live on the Kaspa Standard, and we can all express how we live on the Kaspa Standard and truly push us all to the next level in this sovereign life that we're finding. For energy exchange donations, LOTKS.cast, live on the Kaspa Standard.cast. We're not looking to be an individual unit here. This show is trying to truly grow. And, again, appreciate Damien for popping in 5 casts on the VVOR channel. We go live on 4 different platforms at once. We are X Spaces on Juan's Space at Glitch in 888. We are on live on the Kaspa Standard. We are at live on the Kaspa Standard on YouTube. Follow the show, which is in the Spaces as well. Please click on the show and hit follow so you can catch the X video there live on the Kaspa S. We're on VVOR. Just follow the link, vvor.xyz/channel/TW Takes Podcast. For now, we'll change that to LOTKS in a minute. But while we're still figuring out the groundwork of how the show looks, this is where it's going to be. Again, follow our socials. Juan is at Glitch in 888. I'm at TW Takes Podcast. We are live on the Kaspa Standard, and we are truly living as much Kaspa Standard as we may. We appreciate you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Have a good day, everybody.